that bad boy to load up. There we go. Now we got it. Now we got the OGs coming in from the side. So let's shout everybody out. Shout out my main man, Adam DeLuce. I'm just going to go like that. And if you're an OG and you know exactly what happened yesterday, 3-0 to the Arsenal, beating the crap out of Real Madrid. It was a good old-fashioned you-know-what whooping. More pleased I could not be. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Kevin. Shadow Rap, Skull. We got Mike James. We got Fihavas, whatever. KK, 14M. We got Retro Stocks and Juan Padilla, Benton C, COYG. Come on, you gunners. We got Roger. We got Bart. We got Mike DeRider, Kyle Lynn, and Sports and Stonks. Love that name, by the way. I always get a nice kick out of that. We got Wes K. We got Black Hawk JP, Jacques, Young Talent, Doug. The great, my bad. Amy, Tygar, Just Living. We got Thomas Johnson and Roland Joe. How about Mary and Tez? Unique Trading Group and BKM Trader. Shout out to Stuart and Ginvesting, Thomas Johnson, and then Got Rats, question mark. We got Sean Drake, Mr. Plo, Rishi. We got Daryl. We got Kenny. Who else, man? We got William Blackburn, Rishi Desai, last one, baby. Stevenson, ATM, one of the chat OGs there. Joseph, good morning, my man.
Yeah, my guy, Stevenson. Yeah, guys, lots of stuff going on here this morning. Couple attempts, nothing crazy from a trading standpoint. Just taking my time. Tried a nice little long here on PLTR, but then when we cracked the support system, I'm like, yeah, shorts are still fully in effect, so I agree with Katina, man. It's just fade those pops. In a little bit late, but let's see if we can get back to towards the lower day. Let's see what we got going on, guys, from a top-performing sector standpoint, because that is really, really important to see what is in the green and what is not. And, Sharif, for the majority of these sectors, we only have one in the green today, and that is going to be the tech sector, up about 0.8%. And then the consumer discretionary down about 1.4% there, guys. And then we have consumer staples down about 0.2 as well. So those are the top three, 2 of them being red, only 1 of them being green. Now, from third last to last, guys, we have the energy sector down about 2.1%. That's a hefty haircut. Healthcare, 2.3%, and utilities, 2.6% down on the session. Let's see if we can get some of these shorts rolling out. We know Donald has some pharmaceutical tariffs he's looking to implement very shortly. I'm curious to see which way that brings the market. If I'm going to take a guess or flip a coin, it's going to be to the downside there, my guy.
Just a little bit, yeah. Let's keep your eye out, guys, on these healthcare stocks. We're talking about the Pfizers, the Lillys, any specific biotech company that does business in the United States, keep an eye out on them, which is the majority of them. I'm involved already in a small cap gapper. It goes by the ticker MRM. I'm going to give this to $1. It just cleared the dollar right now. The volume weighted average price around 96 pennies. I'm long at 10s. It's showing me 5, so we're a little bit out of the money. I'm looking to scalp if this is able to take out the high of the day. I have my first beak wetter at the high of the day at around 114. If it loses $1, that's fine. We'll go 0 for 1 on this one. I'm also involved, or looking to get involved, excuse me, with AAPL. A couple of trades on this one already did come down into the volume weighted average price and then got a great hammer candle. Let's see if this one wants to run back up. It's zigging and zagging with 6 right now. What do we get there? We got 619, so we'll take out some here at 30s. Let's see what else we can get to the high side on this one. I'll set some up possibly in the high 30s, but this one I'm going to have to give into the volume weighted average price, and I'll have to defend it. So I'm actually looking at adding into 5 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and wait at 575 for that add there. We'll see what we can get in and around there. So we'll go ahead and punt. I fat fingered on that one. All right, so already a mistake to start the day. We'll get back in. And then we'll put the majority of the position to buy at 575 because I'd like to pick up some there off the volume weighted average price. So that's my look right now. Joseph, what do you got?
Yeah, so I'm just sitting in this PLTR. I'm in some Amazon as well, too, guys, that you can clearly see. A nice signal here on Amazon, 5-minute chart. Let's see if we get somewhat of a rebound here. We are slightly below the volume weighted average price in the market, but holding it relatively strong. So let's see if we get that that bounce here, guys, and that's what we're looking for here in AMZ. And you can see this 5-minute print and look for that move back towards the volume weighted average price. I'll probably get stopped out of this Palantir trade momentarily because it has started to squeeze, and I'm a little late. I should have hopped out right there. And if we bounce right into VWAP and then exceed that, then I shall get out of that trade there. So we'll be patient. I do believe that this trend is still fully intact to the downside, but again, a bounce may come into play. And one thing to note here, guys, I mentioned that if you go and take a look at the VIX, you can see we're trading around 50 or so on that. But from an option standpoint, and I mentioned before that it's a kind of like a writer's dream. You want to be careful, though, when you are writing, just because of the volatility. You need to give yourself those wider stops, most definitely. There's no question about that. But as long as we start to decay and compress in volatility, you can start to collect nice premiums in short durations of time. So that's what kind of I got going on right now. Let's see if those come into play. I have a bear call spread on the Qs, which essentially says to me, I built a thesis saying as long as we don't close above 455 by the end of the week, then we'll be able to collect the full premium that we have. So that's looking not too bad right now. Let's see if we get this bounce, but to the downside is kind of what I'm getting at. But it's a market neutral strategy as well too, right? So as long as we don't close above 455, we can construct a profitable trade. If it goes lower, even better. But if it just hovers around and volatility starts to compress, then that's even good as well too there, Sri.
All right, man. We're zigging and zagging here. We got the ad that I wanted. Now I have to defend that $50. So I'm going to go ahead and wait just like that. Where are we at right now? So we did get that ad at the 75 penny area on AEHL. It's giving us a decent average. I mean, we got the beak wet up here at 620, but by no means out of the water right now. We're actually 20 pennies out of the money, full disclosure. So we'll see if this one wants to hold up at the volume weighted average price. It's been putting in lower highs since the topping tail candle there made the high of the day at 713, right at that 1050 time slot. Trying to work back above 6 right now is AEHL. It's up about 167%. And here are the details on it while we wait for this one either to stop me out or to take back about $6 million market cap with a float of around 4.6 million shares. And let's find out what the short float is, AEHL. So this one has that can't be accurate. So it has a short float here. Trade idea says of 320%, but it's likely a reverse split. So we'll have to look at the daily chart in a second here because I still have to manage this trade, so I can't be looking away. If this loses the $50, we will go out on this one. I will not be DCAing into the $50, especially since that $50 is south of the volume weighted average price, and that would breach my rule of adding or entering the trade south of the volume weighted average price. It's holding on for dear life. It does feel like buyers and sellers are engaged in a tug of war battle at the volume weighted average price, so we'll have to wait and see who wins this one out. ICCT is another one that's going, so I've already put my stop in on that one, so we'll have to wait and see. ICCT is the other one that's moving here, moving nicely here into that 5 1/3. So keep your eye out on that one. That is the high of the day, 5 1/3, currently trading at 5 1/4. Back to AEHL. I need to manage this. Still zigging and zagging in the 80s. It has 4 lower highs right now in a row, so I am a little concerned. VWAP is my line in the sand, Joseph. Let's see how this one works.
Nice look. So yeah, guys, same thing going on. We took a little bit off of Amazon. I just got out of Palantir. I mean, just in case we do squeeze, I don't want any part of it, small share size, so that's okay. We put in a little bit more here, so let's see if we can get that break through 173. That's going to be the key, and that's one of our targets here on the session. Now, I see someone in the chat said puts getting trapped right now. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. Like, let's take a look at it, everything from a daily perspective, and what I'm thinking in my head is like, okay, so what if we start to form this 3-bar type of play on the overall market? So you can see here, what I was thinking that we head back to the top of this range, but that's quite a bit. So one thing to note is I do believe that the volatility is going to start to compress. If we apply the average true range here, ATR, from a daily standpoint, you can see that we peaked right at 16. 16 points, either north or south on the Qs is quite a bit. You can see how elevated it is, and then now we started to pull back. This might be an inside day here, Sharif, and I think that's going to be positive for the options writer, and I think that's the beauty of trading options is that you don't necessarily need to be directionally biased. See, and I have unique trading group going buy calls. No, actually, I totally disagree with you respectfully. I don't think that this is an options buyer's market. This is selling. When you have heightened average true range, heightened volatility, start writing, start collecting premiums, utilize your delta, take advantage of those lower deltas and start writing. If you're getting these inside days and the volatility really starts to decay, then you're just collecting premiums from that. And for me, I don't want to be paying heightened volatility. So that's why I slightly disagree with you. I don't think this is an options buyer's market. This is a writing market, Sharif.
All right, we're doing real well here. For the idiot in the chat that was asking if people follow my trades, you're one little dumbass comment from getting blocked. So watch yourself, boy. So we're going to wait over here. We're printing nicely on this one into 569. If this one clears 6, we've got the levels already set up north of 6, but already profitable on it, looking to defend that 50 penny area. So keeping my eye here on AEHL. I'm also really interested in picking up ICCT at around 4.5. So if that comes into 4.5, I'm definitely going to be picking it up there. But keeping my eye on AEHL, looking for that 6 break. I am kind of kept maybe a little bit excited by the fact that this one is putting in a higher low and defending the volume weighted average price, but don't want to take out too much too quickly. Keeping my eye out on that 6.5. That's where I'd like to take out the majority of the position. This one's having a lot of trouble with 6, but I'm happy I was able to add aggressively at that $5.50 area. Still a little pessimistic, even though I'm a little optimistic on the other side with the higher low. I'm pessimistic about the lower high. So that's my thinking right now. Joseph, what do you got?
Yeah, good stuff there. And that's what we're getting at Unique Trading Group. Like, again, just constructive conversation. You can have what you believe you should do and vice versa, right? There's no right way to trading. So, again, it's just totally constructive conversation, right? So it's good, and it's good to go back and forth because now I can hear your opinion and like, hey, this is why I believe we should be buying some calls. We are slightly oversold. Great point, right? So I like that. Let's see what's going on here with Amazon. We're starting to pull back, but you can see on the 1-minute volume by time profile, it's starting to dwindle. So that can be a positive sign if buyers want to step in. But again, I think the bears are in still full control of this market. So if we get stopped out break even, that's okay. I'm at a Palantir. It's starting to come back into it a little bit as well. But I'm going to hold on to this position as long as possible. So let's see what everybody else is up to here in the chat.
All right, Joseph, we're breaking out here on AEHL. Just popped up new 5-minute candle here to make a new high. So watch out for the break now. We're long 69s. It's showing me 25s. I'm not taking anything out until we clear 675. So this is a banger so far here on AEHL. I'd like to see this one take out the high of the day. If we can take out 713, this one can absolutely squeeze. And we already know it's a higher show. Here it goes. Now we're $1 in the money for that idiot in the chat. Shout out to you, my man. Made me feel good. Boom! There it goes through 7. If I could, I'd give you a gesture right now. Joseph, what's up?
All right, this guy, it's like when you dunk on somebody and you walk over them. You boom, boom, boom. And he's flexing beside me too. That is insane. That is crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, man. Let's see what we got going on. I'm going to add small to this position here because I do believe that we can slightly start to climb higher. I like the way this looks. We're going to look for that move towards the volume at weighted average price 173. That pullback volume looking juicy. Then we got the buyers to step right back in. Let's see if we can hold on to this position and try to make it as large as possible if the market wants to start to climb higher. But I mean, it's not looking too good because Google starting to pull back and Palantir, not like it's going to drag the market higher. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Bang! Here we go.
Boom.
We're
What's
dunking.
happening?
We're dunking on him here,
Hey,
Let's
dunk
go.
on
Hit
him, baby.
We're
Dunk
hitting
on
him.
Take him to home, Jerome.
Taking him home. I'm stepping over these guys out here, Sharif. I don't even know what to do. It's crazy. But yeah, no, nice little pop there in Amazon. Now Katina Man's getting going. This is what we gotta do. Get the energy going. Sharif's getting ready to go. We're ready to go,
baby.
man. We're getting ramped up. He's sweating, so he's good. He's leaking. Jesus, bring loading up Max's Lambo. That's how you know.
I hope he comes on Friday.
Yeah. What's
Can't
going
wait
on
to see
Friday?
that guy.
I feel like you
everybody's
guys are...
coming in on Friday. Apparently, Wayne sent a message out to everybody. He's like, coming in on Friday before the office is gone, this, that, and the other.
All right.
Wow. Yeah, that's what the message was, Katina, man. I'm just reciting it, baby. I don't know what that's going on over there. All right, guys, we are halted.
You're still going?
Joseph, look at where I got out, baby.
Let's go.
Right before the halt. All right, so I'm happy with this one right here. I'm pleased as dang punch with this trade. We added aggressively over here at 566, took out everything at 697. It is halted at 709. Keep your eye out on AEHL. What I do like about this trade is the fact that it did respect the volume weighted average price. Now, these bad boys, they have a tendency to kind of repeat what they do. If they're habitual kind of failures of technical levels, it'll do it again probably. If it respects it on most occasions, it might respect it again. So keep your eye out on that one. Definitely interested in continuing here with AEHL. But as I mentioned, I'm really interested in picking up ICCT here, Joseph, at a 4.25. But it didn't even give me that opportunity. It dropped into 455, and now it is down halted. This is up 40%. It's a good look right now. So let me see exactly what the float is on this. ICCT, 2.42% short on 2 million shares. So not really the biggest mover on, or biggest short float or smallest float, which is they're both good for parabolic moves. I'm just looking at my my news blotter on top for ICCT, and I'm not really seeing anything here to justify this move up. Just looking for a headline. No headline here. All just pause due to volatility and other technical notifications.
Shreve, hit it.
What?
Hit the dollar, buddy.
Of course,
We're going
bro.
to the club. Going to the club. Amazon, bang. We took it off at VWAP here, guys. Nice bottoming signal. My guy Gorev said, hey, Joe, good entry on that one. Good stuff here on Amazon. One of the better trades of the day. Just Living. I'll show you my IBIT. I took a couple stabs at it. Really small size because I'm also not just trading it that well. So that's IBIT. We went over 3 on that one. So Slater, AC Slater on that one. And what was I just trading there? Amazon. That's the one that we want to stick to there, guys. So again, didn't work out on IBIT. Just this one positive trade off a really distinctive signal can wipe out all those losses. So there we go. We're going to hold on to this one. I do believe that the market is going to just slowly grind higher and higher here, Sharif. But again, as long as we stay within a range, as long as price is continuing to compress and we don't have those 20-point moves here, I'm going to be able to be profitable on some of my spreads. Hey. And that's exactly what we want to do. Let's see if we can climb a little bit higher here in AMZN there. Sharpie.
All right, I'm just messaging Naveen. Naveen, why do you want me to look at Ryanair, my man? I see it's up 5%. It's a good look on the day percentage-wise, but what I'm looking at here on the chart doesn't really please me all that much. No, so Ryanair, guys, by the way, it's on the OTC. No, it's not. Holy, it's a 5. Holy, have you seen a 5-letter ticker on the NQ?
They're very rare.
Yeah, GOOGL. Good call it, Dara. Yeah, they're very, very rare. So this is one of those ones that's actually a 5-letter ticker, RYAAY. Because it had a Y, I thought it was on the...
You know what they say about those, right?
What?
The 5-letter tickers?
No.
Don't trade them.
So how about Google?
Don't trade it.
Come on. We can trade Google.
Own it.
So this is very consolidative. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is kind of a little bit above VWAP, Naveen, a little bit below VWAP. So it looks like a range trade. Adara used to love trading these to the high side and the low. Get it, Adara. I mean, for real, though, this is really like a sound wave almost. What's that, Adara? That's a good. She said that looks like a nice range, by the way. So you got the nod from the range trader. RYAAY is the one we're talking about. Ryanair. Looks like it's up 5%. Not really sure why. Maybe in sympathy with Delta. Looking over here on my news blotter, nothing that I'm seeing for Ryanair, guys. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. So shout out to Naveen. Let me know what you're thinking about that. Otherwise, it's not really the trade for me. It's more of a range trade. I'm still waiting here on AEHL to open up. Still waiting on that. ICCT did open up from that downhaul around 4.5 and low, and frickin' behold, it is still holding that 10 exponential. Say less Mr. ICCT. I will be going long now. So we're going to get an entry-level position here, and I am interested in defending this one into 4 1/4. So we're in an entry-level position right now, not an entry-level job. We're going to look to add at 4 1/2, Joseph, since we're in at 470, and 4 1/4. That's my move. 4 1/4 is, we lose 4 1/4 if we drop below $4.25. I'm out of this trade. Let me set up my dip trade right now at the $0.5 so that you don't really need to think about it. Here we go. It's going to fill soon, looks like. And then also set it up at the $0.25. Now, what I do is I typically front run these levels, right? So I won't sit right at the $0.5, right at the $0.25. I'll sit a little bit above them, right? And the point is if there's buyer exuberance, people want to pick this up at higher levels, at least I get to fill. That's my thinking. That's why I do that. We'll see what comes of this trade, Joseph.
Yes, sir. Just Living, most definitely you can get an old boy here momentarily because we're already in that dollar club. We're gonna post up here, see if we can catch that, catch a fill up here. But we'll definitely hit that for you, Just Living, just for you, my friend. But again, here we go, Qs, price compressing. We like this look here in the market as we start to get somewhat of a rebound. Is it going to be a recovery rally? No, I don't think that's going to necessarily be the case. But again, be patient. Let's see what's cooking up. Going back towards the highs of the days there. On the Qs, the thing is when you're writing credit and you get a move all the way down to here, it's like you collect so much of the amount of the premium just due to the volatility, and then when you go back, and so it's just like that's all gone essentially from these lows. So it's like I'm not sweating here or anything along those lines, but if you can, yeah, pardon me.
That's for me to do.
Yeah, exactly. I'll leave all the sweating to the guy to the right of me, Sharif. He was leaking earlier.
I was in a big position, Joseph. Like, give me a break, bro. Give me a break.
I seen it going down. I'm like, man, you're gonna have to shower after this. After that. But I mean, all jokes aside, man, it's good when prices starting to compress. Let's see if we can catch this other fill here on Amazon. What do you got going on there?
We're printing again, baby.
Wow.
ICCT to the high side. The 10 exponential being respected like a dang glove, baby. We're setting up at 92s now. All those fills. Where are you at now, punk? Boom! Go to the high side. Where's it at? Let's go. Let's go. Oh, it didn't fill me at 92. It showed me 92s on the ask, not on the bid. So we'll have to wait for that one to zig and zag. Still have multiple outs on this one left. So what I'll do is I'll wait on the north side of 5. So if we get that 92 fill, we'll still have more ammunition in the clip. I guess I just don't want to get banned by YouTube. Maybe the quiver, arrow in the quiver, so to speak. Maybe that won't annoy them as much. Here we go. So now we're showing high 80s. What I'm trying to see is if there's a hidden seller coming in at around that 10 penny area. I'm talking about 490, 489, 491, something like that, in and around that 10 penny area. That's where the hidden sellers like to hang out, the whole dollar, the $0.5, or the 10 penny area. So we're continuing to hang out here. Don't get the fill. It's moving up to 90. It keeps rejecting 90. So now I am kind of more convinced that there's a bit of a hidden seller in the high 80s, low 90s, because there's no size posted on that on the level 2 at that level. So there we go. We'll continue to wait on this one. We'll see if we get a big move up. Shout out to Aura Alpha. Boom! There it comes. Let's go. 91s. It's showing me 91s again. No, it keeps rejecting that level, Joseph. There's definitely a hidden seller in and around that level. Every time it pops up into the high 80s, low 90s, it's being met with aggressive selling. So I'm going to keep my eye on this one here.
Keep the eye on it. I got 5 on it. All right, guys. Yeah.
Song, dude.
Let's see if we catch this fill here, guys. We're going to do a super live for you, and I do believe that as the Qs continue to climb, we're going to catch this. Google starting to approach the high day as well, too. So good look there. Could have been a liquidity grab on the session here, guys. Here on GOOGL, you can see compression pattern. We just moved sideways for the first the first hour of the day. Oh. We go back towards these pre-market and these open lows, hold the opening drive lows, and then now starting to approach the high day. So there you go. Could be a nice recovery day in the overall market, especially what is Apple up to today, Sharif? I know that's your one. Yeah, exactly. There you go. We're still hovering around the high day. I mean, when this thing is strong, strong, it's strong. It's one of the bigger, stronger Mag 7 names, but then when it starts to sell off, it's just like everybody run for the hills. I haven't looked at NVDA for a long period of time, now trading at 99.70. Let's go. And they don't, whoa, I didn't catch a fill there? That is criminal there, Sharif.
So I
73, yeah, come on. You got to fill your boy up there. We definitely tapped into that. And how are you not going to take that order as the market is starting to come in again? But I do believe momentarily, if we get any form of pop to the top side, we're going to get it. But the volume on the lower time frames is starting to compress here, guys. That's a positive sign for credit spread traders.
All right, AAPL is open. I flattened out at the mid-80s on ICCT. I really want to focus on this one. Here we go. So this one, 934 high day. Here it comes into 7. 7 is the halt level. 710 exactly. Now, you know how these halt levels act as intraday support and resistance areas. So here's the deal. I'm going to wait for a possible, okay, it's getting really away from me here. Okay, so I'm not going to chase it. I'd like, okay, I already came into that level, came into 715. The halt level is 710, so it's already, you know, kind of gotten a little closer. There's definitely a hidden buyer here at around 7 1/3, 740 area. You can see every time we dip down into that 7 1/3, it's being met with aggressive buying, at least on the last 2 attempts. So let's see exactly if we can continue to zig and zag here on AEHL to take out that high of the day. This is a good trade so far now. 250%. It's holding the halt level, which is important, right? Because a lot of people were looking at that level. That's just an intraday support and resistance area. So looking to get something on the dip. I just don't want to chase it up here, but it could go. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up a couple of dip trades at 740. So if it does dip down there, then maybe we'll get the fill, and we're very close. Here it's showing me 42s, 41s. There we go. We get the fill now. Let's see exactly what it does. Right back into the high side, baby. So we'll look to take some profits there on boom on this one again. All right, so we're taking profits over here, Joseph. Please, this dang punch. What do you got?
Yeah, same thing here going on. He's fist pumping. We're hitting the sirens and everything. Donald Trump says, be cool, Sharif. So watch out, guys, in this market as we are continuing to slightly recover, which is a positive sign, especially if the MAG decide that they want to get the ball rolling here and start to recover, then you're going to see a lot of these stocks start to follow. So Google starting to climb, Apple now at the high of day there, Sharif. NVDA not too far off of it. Amazon slightly pulling back. Tesla in the same area as Google and Apple there, guys. What is Meta up to? Okay, so slightly lagging its peers. That's okay. What is Microsoft up to? We'll take a look at Softy. I know Obi likes that, and it's still hovering around the highs a day, so that's a positive sign. We're getting this pullback. Can this be another opportunity to add here in Amazon? Maybe, possibly. We're going to look to do so, especially if this volume by time profile continues to cool off, and we look and buyers step in, and we take that additional leg lower or higher. Sorry, but you can see that we've rejected this resistance zone multiple times and now starting to come back in. So I'm only about 50 cents in the money. Got to watch out for this one, but still working out to be a really nice trade. I can't believe they didn't film me there. That is insane, but that's okay. We will be patient. We'll wait. Those opportunities are going to come. One thing to note here as well, guys, if we don't break through this, that means the SPY has constructed a lower high. That could be some more potential downside. Until we break through that, stick with the shorts unless you're positioned very well, Sharif.
All right, I'm looking at another one here, Joseph. LABD. This is not a small cap gapper, I don't believe. Oh, 1 second. LABD. Is this on the NASDAQ? No, it might be on the MX. It is on the MX. Okay, so LABD, excuse me, guys, on the MX. I like this because it's been a VWAP trade. 1530, it's what it's trading at right now. Here's the deal. VWAP is at 1520. We're going to get long here, and we're just going to put a tight stop. We're going to risk about 10 pennies, give or take. So we're going to go ahead and throw that at 18s, and then we'll go just like that. So now we'll set up some orders, possibly to the high side. If we do get that VWAP hold, I do want to smoke on this one. We'll see if this one wants to hold up at the level. LABD is a ticker I'm talking about. It trades on the Amex exchange, so you have to have access in order to trade this one. You got to have access to that one. Adara, what's up?
I looked into LABD for you because I was curious. I believed it was an ETF, and it actually is. So this is the Direction Shares ETF for S&P Biotech Bear. So it's a 3 times levered bear biotech ETF. That is LABD here. Nice look here intraday for this ticker. I just wanted to provide some context on what this was and why it was on the MX. Best of luck. Hope you print truth.
Garrett, thank you so much. Sometimes it's hard to keep an eye out on all these ones when you're trading them. Obviously, this one is in focus today as a result of the tariffs that will likely come now on the pharmaceutical industry and all the drug companies who do not manufacture said drugs in the United States. So keep an eye out on that. Donald Trump teasing that yesterday at the Republican congressional meeting. Didn't give a specific date, didn't give a specific quantum, but just said to expect tariffs on the pharmaceutical industry. So we'll wait out for details there. Adara, do we have more information on that?
It's on something else, actually. So Wall Street Journal reporting that Prada's deal to acquire here Versace is apparently at risk, or take over Versace is at risk of collapsing. Capri owns Versace, so Capri bouncing on this. Apparently there's a risk that this Prada attempt to take over Versace could in fact collapse. CPRI at day's highs. Back to you.
Versace, wow, really? I didn't think those luxury brands could ever, because I mean the rich stay rich. So what's going on with Versace there, Sharif?
Good question, brother.
Oh yeah, all right, guys. So let's see what's going on. Jay Lee says he's short everything. He thinks it's an easy one. I just want us to be cautious, right? Because if we break through this trend, then you're gonna definitely see some more top side there. What do we got going on the chain? One thing that frustrates me is that the data, when I look at the chain after hours, isn't 100% accurate, and I'm like, kind of bogusness is that? Okay, yeah, let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, it's true. It's like, why can't you be,
your anger there.
Yeah, it's like, why? I don't get it. Okay. April 11th. What is the chain telling us? 420, 2,000 open contracts. There's like nothing to the call side. That's insane. But we got 416 with about 8.9 thousand open contracts, 420 with 6.3 open contracts. Let's see what these big boys are up to. But other than that, there's nothing that stands out and says, hey, Sharif, we're going to be trading within this range.
I like that. Hey, Sharif.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing well again here, Joseph. LABD, thank you for the good juju there, Adara, because now it is printing to the high side. We're long 15s. It's showing me 34s. Let's set up in front of the half dollar. I won't be sitting, though, at 44s. That is an unlucky number. Shout out to my Asians out there. There does obviously seem to be resistance at 15.50 owing to this area crest initially. So I do expect some resistance at the half dollar, not just because it's a psychological resistance area, but because it is a price action resistance area right around there. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I do see, though, simultaneously on the side chart here that AEHL just absolutely wicked beautifully off the 10 exponential, and I did not have a trade on that. Here's what it kind of looks like on the black charts, so you can just see how well it, it bounced off there, off that 650 level. Joseph, that is the 10 exponential moving average, and now it is above that by about 70 pennies, dips into 657, 655, rockets back up. AEHL, still very much tradable under my system right now. We'll keep an eye out on this one. But as I see it, this one is just going, baby. LABD, shout out to the biotech industry and shout out to Adara for bringing this to our attention, that this is an inverse biotech ETF, hence why it's up almost 10%, because the biotech sector getting shellacked, Joseph. And here is 44s. It didn't cross. Joseph, why is that? I don't put it at 45. I mean, I don't put it at 44s because it's a bad luck number. I put it at 43s. It gets up into 43 and we don't get the fill.
Oh, well, 44. They knew. They're like, all right, well, Sharif's a little bit above that here, so we're not going to fill him there because he said that 44 is an unlucky number. So they heard what you said and what you were thinking there. So you got to watch out for that. Don't think out loud because the market will definitely figure it out and then do the total opposite there, guys. Jay Lee, my guy, you're starting to print on those Apple
He's always
stores.
printing,
Yeah,
bro.
There he is, man. He's like, dude, just go short Apple. It's probably going to be the easiest trade of the day. I'm like, Jay Lee, I don't know about that one. But there you go. That one's for you. Oh, sorry. I thought I didn't know who was behind me there. Where's the live dash? What do you mean there, brother? WS?
The second stream.
The second stream? Oh, okay. The dashboard.
Is more Trader TV live, guys? It's not live.
It's not live.
today.
Okay, so yeah,
we're
more Trader
maintenance
TV
right
Live isn't going under some maintenance, guys. Yes, Scott Tomlinson, do we not have a bond auction? Yes, I believe it at 1 p.m. is the 10-year. I'm pretty sure you told me that as well. So I don't know, and other traders in the chat were confirming that. So the 10-year at 1 p.m. we will most definitely be keeping an eye out on that one. We were playing this hammer candle here on Amazon, now starting to come back in towards it. If we hold it, there might be another opportunity for long, but do what Jay Lee says. Do what everybody else in the chat is doing. Stick with the shorts. It's the path of least resistance.
Well said, Joseph. Shout out to Nicole and shout out to Hot Lana. It's been a minute since we've seen you consistently, Nicole, on the How to Trade Midday Show. And boom, we just took out our last little bit there on LABD. So very happy with this one. But Nicole wants me to look at Donald John Trump. You don't got to ask me multiple times to look at DJT, baby, because this looks good, Joseph. This could be a double top, though, my man. Look at this. Multiple rejections here at 18, and you've got one crest, two crests, all at 18. You take out that 1720, I'm going short aggressively on this. This looks like a neckline, possible double top. Now, you don't really want to guess what pattern will form. Let the pattern manifest, unless, you know, you're going to take a tight short over here. And by that, I mean, for example, getting short 17 mid-80s and placing your stop just a couple of shekels above 18, if that's what you're thinking, if you're thinking bear. Nicole's like, yuck, Donald just endorsed this. You don't know. I mean, possibly people get behind this because he mentioned it. So, all right, if it takes 18, I'm all ears. But until that level gets cleared on a closing basis, I'm a little skeptical just because of the umpteen amount of rejections we have at 18 and the possible double top formation. I don't even want to short it either, though, because it's up 7 1/4. And I have a bit of a rule. I don't short these above the volume weighted average price. These small cap gapper type names above the volume weighted average price. I'm interested, though, in this one, certainly. Just keeping my eye on it. I will remove MRM from the side chart, and DJT will take its place. But I want to bring to your attention another small cap gapper while we watch to see what Donald John Trump is doing over here, is this one, BLIV. This one's moving up aggressively. It's up 66.5%, and it was halted. Now it's open. It's below VWAP, so it's going to have to get above 5 1/3 for me to trade it. But the fact of the matter is, it was a multiple halter to the upside, had a nasty, nasty topping tail candle into 606, and then ended up halting at 516. So needless to say, it is quite volatile and quite dangerous. And look how it's trading. It was at 480, now it's at 540. So it's trading crazy. So be careful with this one. Make sure you are using sound risk management skills or techniques, excuse me, whether that's smaller position sizing or tighter stops. Make sure you are, you know, taking care of your account because you got to be around to trade. So let's go ahead and put BLIV as the ticker on this bad boy. And then we'll take out 606. That'll be the high of the day there. So that's what I'm looking at. See exactly what the situation is with this one. But it does look like a 565 halt, possibly false halt there. Drops back into 5.5. So we'll load up BLIV on a side screen over here so that we've got it ready. Take out MRM, so put BLIV on this one, and we'll see how this one's trading. Okay, 2 penny spread. That's not bad. Definitely didn't look like it was trading a 2 penny spread when I was watching this one about a few seconds ago. Back down into 4 2/3. Does it halt around here? Is there enough? 473. This could be a false halt. We'll have to wait and see. So the bid is showing me 68, the ask is 73, and now we are halted again to the downsides. 2 downside halts in a row now on BLIV. Be careful with this one. Obviously very volatile. Back to Donald John Trump. Where is he at? Well, we're still not taking 18, but we're not really giving up the ghost either. So I'm a little bamboozled. Nicole, how are you trading this one? I mean, how are you guys trading DJT? If you are looking to trade DJT, are you looking to the long side? Are you looking to the short side? What are your levels? Tag Joseph or I in the chat. Let us know what your look is on Donald John Trump. Obviously making moves today here, Joseph, above that $15 level and up 6.5%.
Yeah, they're nice look. So here we go. We just got this basic trend line here, guys, going on. Let's see if that can hold in Amazon. You can see we're just holding it off those lows multiple touches, looking for this indecision print to withstand. But again, you can see that we don't have that isolated volume signature, so that can just be like, hey, we get that pullback towards the volume weighted average price, and then we just head back towards the south side. So yeah, not too good. I'm talking with Gorv in the chat. I'm like, yeah, they're not working. The longs aren't always coming into play here for me. So you can see that I was in at 50s. I'm already 50 cents out the money on that potential long holding of the trend line. So if we crack through some of these pivots, got to get out of dodge there and just be giving back the majority of these gains here. So Joseph, maybe we should switch to shorts. That's honestly the game plan. I got to start doing that a little bit more here, Gorv, because I've just been getting slack. Take Joseph or me, not take Joseph or I. Are you kidding me?
We're getting English lessons up in this place, Joseph.
Days. Okay. Anyways, never mind. Like, why would you even waste your time typing that? I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe she's an English teacher.
Okay, maybe. Yeah. Okay, but then if that's the case,
I know
then
that,
we accept that.
Sometimes things irk me. Maybe that irks her.
Maybe that irks them. All right. Well, hey, man. There'd be a whole lot of fighting going on if there was things that that irked me.
I love this guy, bro. When he gets upset, he wants to fight.
Bro.
Like some people get sad, and some people like they kind of take a corner. And this guy's like, yo,
like,
who am I knocking out? We're like, I love that.
For real. I mean, at the end of the day, but see here, guys. So I'm gonna pull up something here real quick, so you can see one thing that I want to note is that if you have the ability, if you're understanding options and everything along those lines, you know that we don't necessarily have to be as directionally biased. Average true range in the market has just gone through the absolute roof. What comes with that increased options premium? We talk about this all the time, but what does that give us? That gives us the ability to write options. When I say write, that means sell. We can sell options at way for what's the word I'm looking for? At strike prices that are vastly farther away at the money, so we can write out the money options and still collect a decent amount of premiums. So you can construct a market neutral trade that says, hey, by the end of the week, as long as the Qs finish within this range, we can construct a profitable trade. And that's what I believe. For me, I'm like, okay, I need to get back into writing right now because I don't want to chase the shorts. And if I chase the shorts via puts, put premium is always more expensive than call premium, and we don't get that move to the downside, then I'm screwed. I paid a hefty amount for those contracts, and they're not going to work out. So what can we do? We can start selling the premiums that we could potentially pay for, and then construct trades like this, where between point A and point B, as long as the market closes within this range by the end of the week, we can come out with a profitable trade, and that's exactly what I'm looking to do here on the Q Street.
Yeah, man, that's a banger trade, and we already talked about that. Shout out to you. Hope you're printing up multiple storms on that, Joseph.
Oh, no.
Oh, what happened?
I added.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's okay. It's okay. Can't be as bad as me. I'm continuing to watch your DJT, guys, and the big kahunas are not here, so I can't get any shorts on this one. Let's find out if it's a pay for shorts type situation. It probably is 99% of the time. Yes, it is. So we'll have to wait till they get back, unless Brenkles is at his desk. Brenkles! No, he's not there. That's fine. So, well, look, it looked to me like somebody's selling up a storm here on DJT at 18. I don't want to jump into this one on the short too aggressively too quickly, but, you know, this is looking like a hell of a pattern over here, a possible double top pattern on DJT at 18. So if I can scalp something possibly below the volume weighted average price, maybe wet the beak at 7 1/3, then really take it down possibly into about 16.5. 16.5 is the low of the day. That's all predicated upon this not taking 18 on a closing basis. If it takes 18 on a closing basis, I'm not shorting. Simple as that. So keep an eye out on that one. LABD looks like I absolutely paper-handed this trade, Joseph. I literally have the bottom wick right there, but look at this thing go. Right into 1575, high, that's not the high of day, 1605 high of day, but it's really taking out levels. It took out 15.5. The reason I got out at 15, a little bit below 15.5 is because of this level. I anticipated that it would have a little bit more resistance. That area crest that we put in at 1040 at 15.5 had me worried that it would be yet another resistance area on the way there. So, you know, you can't execute perfectly on everything, but definitely interested interested in LABD, excuse me, just simply because of the headline about what's it called? The biotech industry. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about with respect to these biotechs, let's bring in the morning notes over here and talk about exactly what to expect from that. Let me just see where I got it. That's Amazon, Delta, Trump Pharmaceuticals. So here's the deal. President Trump announced plans to impose major tariffs on foreign pharmaceuticals, aiming to force drug makers to relocate operations to the U.S. Surprise, surprise. Statement made yesterday, at a Republican congressional dinner. No specific date, no specific timeline disclosed, not yet anyway. Though exempt from recent reciprocal tariffs, pharma has long been stated as a target for reshoring under Trump. Currently, the U.S. imports about $213 billion in pharmaceuticals. That was a 2024 number. That's about 2.5 more times than a decade ago. So what they were bringing in 2014. So an obvious shift in pharmaceutical manufacturing there. Most large pharma companies like your Pfizer's, your AstraZeneca's, they all operate complex global manufacturing hubs. Ireland, Germany, UK, Canada, they're everywhere. Donald doesn't like that. He wants everything in the United States. The FDA regulations, though, could be a bit of a headwind. And here's why. Because the construction timelines on these pharmaceutical production facilities could take up to 10 years to build and to certify them. So regulatory headwinds, over here could certainly disrupt his desire to have that produced locally. So that's kind of why we're on LABD, because of that headline. We'll have to wait and see what the specifics are. But if, history is any guide, we likely have, kind of fluidity there with the tariffs being set at a certain price or certain countries, and then the negotiating comes in. So we'll continue to watch these pharmaceutical stocks and how they respond to this, Joseph.
Yep, good luck there, guys. Okay, so I pulled up something here for you. Pizza Rat was asking me how to collect these premiums. Well, you got to understand how to write and make sure most definitely to place those stop losses. So this is essentially what I just put in. You can see last night. This one's probably not going to get filled, but this one did get filled here. So what does that tell us here? So Joseph, you have a bear call spread. Yeah. So what essentially is, as long as we don't close above 455, then you get to collect $45 per contract combination. You sell 4 of those. What is that? 90, a quick 90, 180 bucks by the end of the week, because that's what the objective is that you want, unlike when you buy, even though it says buy, I'm just buying the contract combination. But when you are buying options, expiration is not good. But when you are writing Pizza Rat, you want these to expire worthless. So April 11th, what is today? The 9th, I believe. 9th, yeah. So 2 days, then you get to collect that full premium on that. So that's essentially what's going on. I highly doubt that these will get filled. I did a little bit of a push. I wasn't expecting these to get filled either, but I would rather have these gotten filled. But that just gives us a range to trade within. So there we go. Nice little bounce here in the market. I've accidentally added right here on Amazon, but here we go. Market, something's coming out here. There has to be some form of news here, guys. As we're starting to get a pump, the volatility is here. Adara's got that news for us right now.
I was just waiting to make sure I understood this story, and it's pretty vague, but basically, I have Apple on watch here. What happened here is a reporter from CNBC by the name of Eunice Yoon here posted on X, and this message is not in English. It's, I guess, Mandarin or Cantonese, but anyways, there's a screenshot here. Apparently, China has messaged that it's not actually closed the door with negotiations on Donald Trump. They're open to negotiating on tariffs. They just don't want to do it this way. By that, they mean they don't want to do so under threat. So I guess it sounds like China is still open to some tariff negotiations. Again, this is according to a post that has not as of yet been translated into English. The screenshot anyway started here circulating from CCTV, which is China Central Television. Of course, that is a Chinese broadcasting company. And now being shared by a CNBC reporter. Sounds like China could be open to some negotiation here on tariffs. I've not seen that much circulation of this story, though, either, but something to be aware of, especially for Apple. Back to you.
Guys, if you want to talk about a headline-sensitive market, you are in it right now. Whatever hot headline that comes out regarding tariffs, you're going to see the reaction, whether it's true or not. We've seen that, okay, yeah, there's going to be a 90-day pause. False. Look what happened to the market. It literally rallied and went up 3-4%, and then moments later you find out that it's not real. So this is what you're going to see in this volatile market. It is extremely headline sensitive.
Couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. Couldn't agree more.
So-
We did it again here on AEHL. Added on the dip into below 7. Where did I got 95s, and we scalped up into 760. So I'm really happy with this trade on AEHL. It started off a little dicey. We had to add aggressively into that 560, but got that 7 top wick. Got in again initially at secondarily at 7 1/3, scalped up to 780. We just got in again below 7, scalped up to 760. So here's the deal. This one, it feels like it's ranging right now, and you can kind of tell that because we are getting no new highs and no new lows. And look at this. Look at these candles over here. When you see something like this, this is an epic struggle between buyers and sellers. This is the sellers and the buyers almost meeting at equilibrium right now. We're not able to really kind of trend. We're moving sideways with these topping tail candles, and the body's almost non-existent on these candles, partly because there's an equilibrium between buyers and sellers right now. So keep your eye out on this one. It's still respecting trend, to be fair to it. So whatever algorithms are trading this, they're obviously basing their buy orders on the 10 exponential. You can see that initially over here, it defended the 10 exponential quite well. It did it again at 11:30 and again at 11:40, yet again at 11:45. So there are buyers at the 10 exponential on the 5 here on AEHL. The question is, how long do they last for? How long does that algo stay on, or that trader with a big account who's been picking it up off that level, or the traders who all see the same thing, right? A lot of this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. When we're all looking at VWAP, we're all punching in at VWAP, or we're all shorting at the high of the day. It ends up being that, exactly just that. It doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? So AEHL, certainly, definitely keeping my eye on this one. I wouldn't mind if this one dipped into about 6.5 for a bigger retracement into that volume weighted average price. But so far, at least from the 1140 candle onwards, we are putting in higher lows, but by that same token, we're also putting in lower highs. So a bit of a compression pattern here, again, reflecting the kind of equilibrium between buyers and sellers at this point. I want to go back to Donald John Trump. We haven't traded this one quite yet, but I was basically trying to look for a short on this one. The big kahunas are back. So if when you guys get an opportunity, how much DJT, what's it called? Shorts are, guys. Thank you, I do appreciate that. However much they are, we'll keep an eye out here on DJT. It's had a love affair here with $18. The other side of the coin is I was quick to say, oh, I see a double top with a neckline at 1720. That's all fair and good. What I didn't say and what I didn't see, to be honest, is the higher. Looking at this area, each successive trough, and if you were to base this area as a trough, this area as a trough, and this current 1770 dip as a trough, higher lows, possibly here a flat top breakout. We don't have an animation for that, but you can imagine it, right? Where we kind of put in higher lows, all the while we're still defending and rejecting off that same level, that $18 level. I just got to go back to AEHL because it dipped into the volume weighted average price here. Now this is decision time. Do I pick up AEHL off that 6 1/3, 6.5? That's where VWAP is. This is an aggressive down move right now. That's a big drop from 740 into 640 because we were just at 740. Look at the top of that 5-minute candle. And now we're back down 650 defending that 640 level. That's an aggressive down move right there on above average volume. This current 5-minute candle has over 3 million shares. So there's a big seller coming in here pushing this bad boy down. I don't want to stand in front of it, Joseph, when that candle looks like that, talking to the volume guy over here.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good idea there. But guys, here we go. So we were talking about this the other day. I forget what day it was. It might have been Monday or something along those lines when we were referring to the price compression pattern, and then we called that breakout. I was being patient. I'm like, yo, let me be patient. Let's find the direction of the market. We're going to see that volume step in. And I think that's going to be the exact same case right now. You can see it. I just have some basic TA done here on it, and we're really starting to compress, forming that wedge in that triangle. Which way are we going to go? We're going to try to execute this the exact same way we did earlier in the week. right? We're going to wait for that volume to step in and tell us which way to go, okay? So you're going to see that large volume print, you're going to see that isolated signature, and then you're going to see the market pick a direction, and then it's our job to wait and to get in when it displays itself. And I believe if we continue to compress here, at some point we will. If the mag decide that they want to go to the top side or to the downside, the cues are going to follow. It's heavily weighted, right? So we just got to keep that in mind. Be patient. The more we can compress, the bigger the move may be to whichever direction we decide to go. Google has been a hot, choppy mess here today, Sharif.
Ooh.
But that's good because
the 5-letter ticker, Joseph.
Yeah, we don't want to trade it. We don't trade it. That's it. We don't trade it. We want nothing to do with that here. It's a 5-letterer. So watch out for those guys because they can get you in a little bit of trouble. But there you go. So you can see for all the, again, we only have weeklies on Google, but this is what you want to see if you're a Condor trader, right? If you're an options writer or you're a market neutral options trader, this is what you want to see. Sideways price action. It's a dream, essentially, right? You want those things. Again, I have some bear calls. If we go down, great. If we go sideways, great. And even if we climb a little bit higher, great, because as long as we don't close above a specific strike price, we get to profit. And I went through this lesson multiple ways. When you're directionally trading, there's only one scenario that allows you to be profitable. When you are writing, there's multiple scenarios that allow you to be profitable.
Man is dropping fire today, bro. What's going on?
Man, I told you, man. I'm sick. Hey, I'm telling you, man. The long-term accounts just been getting beat up. You got it. And I said
Gives
to you
you
this
some clarity how that happens.
Yeah, man. I'm like, dude, never let a crisis go to waste. I said that to you this morning. I said it before. So it's like start to take advantage of these heightened volatilities. If you have those tools in your basket, start utilizing.
Boom.
Make sure those risk measures are in place. Otherwise, you won't be in the game for long.
Adara.
Keep an eye here on the market as we have Fed's Barkin commenting now on tariffs, saying that to Axios in an interview here. Apparently, these tariff price hikes could start by June with a trade war, which is, I guess, what we're currently in, as interpreted by Fed's Barkin, could actually lead to fewer jobs and higher prices, saying that the Fed has to be cautious in this kind of environment. So Fed's Barkin saying Fed's going to be cautious due to this trade situation that we have happening right now in the markets. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. Excellent reporting as always. Guys, AAPL lost VWAP. It lost it on a closing basis. It's trying its darndest right now to try to get back above. Volume weighted average price currently on my chart, 644. It's showing 629. It did lose 6, by the way. It got to about 590. So this one's going to have to set up and stay above VWAP. It's not good enough for me that it wicks above because that's not the move. Okay, we're gonna have to wait to see, does this one have enough juice to the upside, enough to stay above the volume weighted average price? Otherwise, I'm just gonna let this one go and have it set up a different way. I'm keeping an eye on ICCT as well. So I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't punch back into this one at the volume weighted average price. It gave me yet another opportunity on this one, and I didn't have to risk much. So if I got in at VWAP, it would have been a 433 add. I would only need to risk to 20 pennies south of that 20, which I would have done anyway. I don't ever put my stops on the 10 penny level. It's always a couple of shekels below that. That's the good side, that it bounced off VWAP. The bad side of this one, successively lower highs. So if we're look at that 1105 pop, that high day there took us to 536. And then on the trade that I had at 1130, that level took us to 510. Lo and behold, this current high rejects on 5. So incrementally lower highs. And this is not a flat bottom break. This seems like it's a downward channel. So yes, pick it up off key areas of technical support, i.e. VWAP. But don't be so quick to assume that we're going to take that high a day just because we bounced off VWAP or to create that new high. Let it manifest first and show you that the buyers are stepping in to overwhelm sellers at that lower high before you commit your money. So that's what I'm watching for right now. Otherwise, I wait for this one to pull back into that 4 1/3. Currently where the volume weighted average price is. I'm talking about ICCT, guys. Small cap gapper up a respectable 50% and a third. So good look there. By the way, I wanted to let you guys know that Real Trading, which is the prop firm that we use and the software that you see on your screen right there, They're the best. They're the best deal around. So if you guys are not in the United States and you're elsewhere, you can sign up with Real Trading and trade from home. And the reason I'm bringing this up right now is because Neil got me 100 shares of DJT to borrow short. It cost me 2 cents. It's crazy. I mean, it's not even shortable on IBKR.
They don't even make the penny anymore.
They don't even make the penny anymore, man.
Come on,
Can I tell you, when I was doing the clean out of the second bedroom building, the gym, I had a giant I'm like, what do I do with this? What do you do with it, bro?
Bank, man.
I gave it to my old man. Oh, yeah. I'm like, take this back.
Remember, did you ever used to have one of those water jugs and you just throw change in it?
Of course. Yeah, of course. Who doesn't, right? Like, and that's the thing. Like, the pennies are worthless now, right?
Worthless.
Can you get your money back from the Bank of Canada if I give them back their pennies? Because the banks don't accept it.
Really?
Like, if you go into like a legitimate bank.
Don't they have to?
They don't. Apparently, it's because it's not in circulation anymore.
I'm pretty sure they have to, man.
I'm just telling you. I was told. Adara, what's happening now?
Perhaps not surprisingly, Sharif, what's happening now is lots of tariff talk all day. We had reports here that Donald Trump is considering a pharmaceutical tariff he's set to announce, quote, soon. So we have no timing or details on that, but something to be aware of. Here's the NASDAQ. It has been super chop and super churn all day here. Some lower highs, some lower lows, not a clear sense of direction, but right now, waffling and oscillating here around VWAP is the NASDAQ. S&P 500 here looking pretty similar, almost the same here as these major indices. Try to pick a direction. So we're noting lots of these small cap movers today. We have TGL popping up for me here, Treasure Global, nice push to the upside. We also had a move in Capri, CPRI. This name owns Versace, and Wall Street Journal reported that Prada's attempted takeover of Versace could be running into some regulatory bumps. So keep an eye here in CPRI. Also, of course, keep an eye on this whole market as we continue to digest talks on tariffs. And if you're looking for research-related content, always make sure to check out TTV Research. I post infographics and related content every single day. And we have a new series here for Q1 2025. I've been going over the best and worst performers in the quarter. This is actually going to be the first installment of our sector series. So looking through each of the 11 sectors in the S&P 500, who are the top 5 and bottom 5 performers by percentage loss or gain over the quarter. So Intel was actually number 5 here in the technology sector to the upside. Good look for INTC. Names like First Solar and Broadcom, though, fared a lot worse. So you can check this out on X at TTV Research. Has not even been posted yet, so you guys are getting a sneak peek into this. And before we send you back to the Bash Brothers, we have to send you over to Neil. And as always, exciting lesson of the day. Take it away, Neil.
Thank you, Adair. It's going to be a simple lesson of the day because I did promise you guys a story that I didn't get into on my commute home yesterday. But I've talked about opportunity cost before, but I just want to show you another example of opportunity cost. So I traded this morning. If you include Mullen, which I guess you have to. I mean, I had Apple, Intel, and Pfizer. Those were all part of the plan. I wanted to short those 3 names. Mullen just kind of came out of nowhere with the news of the reverse split. But there was a name I didn't trade. I'll get to that one last. So if you are focusing on a stock, whether it's working or not, I'll show you Intel. That's when we're down on it, continue to trend upside. As you can see, it's continuing to trend higher. Apple was another, which looked good. The 2 times we took it off our resistance level, it pulled right back in adjacent to VWAP. So that worked out. Pfizer was in between those two in that it's worked in a pop and fade, but it's not blowing anything out of the water to the downside. It's just gently holding the downward trend. So in a scenario like this, it's like, okay, well, you controlled losses where you're wrong, you made in a couple and you can be up, but if you're evaluating your day, you have to ask yourself, okay, well, what was part of my plan that I didn't do today? And let's make sure that just because it's not part of your P&L or the trade review, that you still go over it. Because I come back to, remember we were talking about NEO at exactly $3 and bouncing off the $3 level? Well, let's have a gander at what it would have looked like if your focus was on NEO at $3. Well, right before the open, it bounced off 303. It very cleanly held the 05, consolidating at the open, and was a clean breakaway. But you're like, okay, well, it didn't really trade down there to give you a chance to see if it was going to go all the way to 3 or if it was going to bounce higher, so maybe you don't get it at the open. Fair enough. What does NEO do? Bounces right back in to the opening range, wicks the bottom, and it's not just that it wicked the bottom and went up right away, it wicked the opening bottom, and on a 3-minute candle, those are 2 3-minute candles where you're then long, again, at 305. And you're able to take, it's a mean reversion trade, whether you have 05, 06, 06 half, 05 half, you have plenty of time to get whatever you want in this 3-minute candle with a stop to the low. That's very, very tight risk. And then it gives you a move. It consolidates at VWAP, so it's kind of an easy take profit in front of 10, take profit in front of VWAP, hold for the dream, in which case you're still holding on to it. That R&R is just better than pretty much everything else you're looking at. So when evaluating the day, it's not just about, okay, well, what did I take and how did it go? What was that thing that you said you liked and you didn't trade, and should that have been something that you were all over? That's something you got to do with your evaluation. That's the real heart of the lesson of the day. However, I was talking about patience and how impressed I was with something that happened on my train last night. So I'm just gonna briefly tell a story, and I was messaging Sharif while this happened. I have taken the train in, I'm not talking about the subway, I'm talking about the actual commuter train. I've taken that in for a couple of decades to get downtown. And I've never on a rush hour train seen someone, overly inebriated. It just doesn't happen. Or the type of thing you would see on the subway. Sometimes there's mental health issues. Well, there was a combination of that and I was in the same car and adjacent to the seat. But the only way I could describe it is the person who was being a little bit belligerent was doing so to the only person in the entire car who, if you knew nothing about anybody in this car, that's the guy you wouldn't mess with. And I'm just talking about visually. Like if you come into Trader TV Live and you're like, okay, well, who would you not want to talk trash to? You're probably just going to say Sharif because look at him. Now, this was kind of that situation here. And this dude was like, oh man, he tried to ask him how his day was, and he was trying to be polite about it. Like, hey, I guess you're having a rough day. And he was trying to be very chill about it. And I cannot repeat some of the things he said, but let's just say he did mention this patient dude said he was Jamaican. There's certain insults you probably don't want to make to Jamaican. Let's just suffice to say that he made that exact one. And I could see him just very calmly. And he was almost speaking to himself in a prayer, not to knock this guy out. Now, ultimately, he ended up not doing anything to him, despite at one point the guy putting hands on him, and he still kept his calm. And I'm telling you right now, there was more provocation that 99% of the time would have led to something. And it would have been over in a matter of seconds. Anybody could have told that would have been the case. But he got home without incident, and this other guy, obviously, I'm assuming, got home without incident. And we talk about patience in trading all the time, and I know we always mention this, but sometimes it's that one moment where you need the most of it, and it's the hardest to possibly do it, but you get the best reward for that patience. In life and in trading too. When saying you need to be patient and wait for the best setup, or you need to be patient and give this person a little bit of time or whatever, it's that moment where it's the hardest to do it that you need to hold true to it the most. And that's just true in a general sense. And I didn't get a chance to applaud the guy because when he got up, I was like, I had to say something to this dude. But he kind of got off at his stop really quickly. I have never been so impressed in my life. I wish I had that level of patience because I'm not sure I could have done that. When he put hands on him, I know I would have reacted. And this guy just absolutely kept his cool. And sometimes you see that. The biggest, baddest dude, he doesn't have anything to prove. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't even care. A lot of people are like, you're gonna let him punk you like that? That's probably what a lot of people would have said. And like, no, that guy's gonna get home chill, and I'm gonna get home chill because I had nothing left to prove. But anyways, lesson of the day, generally speaking, of course, is going to be that you've got to make sure that you evaluate all parts of your plans, not just the one that you trade or the ones that you trade, but the ones that you missed or didn't take for whatever reason, and always have patience and try the best of your ability to give people the benefit of the doubt, because as I truly believe, most people in the world are good. Sometimes they're just having a bad day. Back to the midday.
You exercising patience in those situations? Shout out to Neil, obviously, for that story. That's one hell of a... What's one hell of a...
Fighters, I mean, like, obviously it's fun in the ring, but even so, it's not necessarily fun, and I don't want to fight outside of the ring, to be honest.
What? Outside the ring?
Yeah.
Sorry, I heard rain. I was like, what was the rain? No. Yeah, to be honest, because we know how that's going to go down. He aggravates you. He pokes the bear. You catch him, and then you catch a charge.
Right? It's lose-lose, essentially.
Right? So it's like,
and
okay.
What, you want to get yourself in trouble for some guy who's not all there and, like, he probably doesn't have his own house and stuff like that?
Unless he makes, like, the first move, and, you know, and then even if he does, now we're having to go get cameras, get witnesses off the sub or the train.
You
know what I mean? Like, who needs that?
Your best defense is your legs, and that's just because you can walk away. Right, so if you're getting in any confrontation like that, just walk away, to be honest with you. Like, Sharif, I mean, I got to pull up some of these old videos, but guys, you know what it's like when you're just like at the club at whatever it may be during the weekend, and then you just go outside the club and it's just massive brawls and people are fighting left, right, and center. It's just like, personally, I want no part of that because that's where people really, really get hurt. And like, the scariest thing for me is like when someone gets hit and they drop and they hit their head, that's some scary stuff. So yeah, just you
got a challenger here in the chat.
You say that, yeah, you're gonna fight me.
Dumbo Things Films.
Yeah, you say you're gonna fight me for not.
I'm gonna fight Joseph for not eating pies. I mean, you're rubbing people the wrong way with this pie business, Joseph.
Yeah, I know. I try not to.
Got a lot of pie lovers in the chat.
I know, dude. Normal special won't leave it alone. Like I don't like. Honestly, never tasted any form of apple, pumpkin, whatever.
But we already established that you had chicken pot pie, no?
Yeah. So they had it one time. I didn't know we were gonna classify that as actual legit pie.
The Katina Man is not classifying
There we go. Thank you.
Hold on. We could get a little bit more detailed here. We could say sweet pie.
Yes, sweet pie. Like, yeah, exactly.
Like a dessert pie.
Exactly. I've never had a dessert pie. So there you go. Never in my life have I had a dessert pie.
You're gonna love from the chat there, Neil. Willis Addison. Good. Oh, dang, good lesson of the day, Neil Roberts, sending you his love, my man. Shout out to Willis Addison, and thank you for that. Guys, there's a new small cap gapper that's weaseled onto the scene over here. It goes by the ticker TGL. It was halted at $3.42 for a period of 5 minutes. So it was a 5-minute halt. And now it is rocketing into the high of the day, 384, 394. It's going to be 404 in a second over here. It feels like it's about to take $4. Let's keep an eye out on this one. TGL really going parabolic right now. The move with these ones I found is to get them on micro pullbacks. Let's see if we can defend anything here into that halt level from the prior. So that is 340. We're long at 366. It does look like it might lose 340 at the moment. Let's see if we can add a little bit over here and see if we can defend that level, but it will lose it. So we may get stopped out of this one, Joseph. What do you got? Get stopped out.
Okay, we're in some TQs here, guys. I mentioned that we're starting to get that price compression pattern. So I just tried to grab the bottom of the range. I just took 33% off right here, and I'm going to take another 33% off at that 410 level as we start to approach it, because unless that volume really starts to kick in, then this might be a false break. But you can see with the likes of Microsoft starting to approach that high a day, Tesla's starting to climb higher, Google's climbing higher, NVDA starting to climb higher. So this is what we want to start to participate in. It's looking good here for this price compression pattern here in the TQs. I just mentioned 410, 412 being an area of possible resistance. You see the rejection, but now we're starting to punch through that. I'm glad that we're holding on to 66% of this position here, Sharif.
All right, got right back in, scalped up from 340s all the way into 355s, holding a piece. Don't want to let it go too quickly because it was a good dip trade on this one. This is the halt level right here. So it lost it initially, it's losing it again, so we'll have to get stopped out there. We make a little bit back, but still negative on this one. So TGL in my crap books right now. We're going to have to keep an eye out on this one. It's already losing the volume weighted average price. 320 is the VWAP area. 307 the low of this candle currently. So we'll see how this one ends up setting up. Bit of a zigger and a bit of a zagger right now, coming back down to 3, and it's really losing the bid. So quite pleased that I was able to get out of this one without DCing aggressively. It'll have to get above 3.25 for me to get involved in this one. But just to give you some idea about what we're talking about here in terms of details, $5 million market cap with about 2 million shares traded on the day, and it has a float of sub 1 million. That's why it's going nuts. 605,000 shares is the actual float on that one. Let's confirm it with Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas has a fundamentally different data point there, saying 42 million shares with a short float of 2%. So let's go ahead and have a look to see whether this one was a reverse split. And I'm seeing Donald Trump is just about to come into $18 there. DJT, that is, not the actual guy. So let's go ahead and look at TGL over here on the daily so we can see what the situation is. Yes, it is a reverse split, just reverse split on the 7th, so 2 days ago, hence why Trade Ideas has that larger share size there. So this one did do a 1-to-50 split on the 7th. So that's kind of the discrepancy there. And then prior to that, it had a huge split back in February of 2024. So keep an eye out on this one. It's zigging and zagging, basically candle of indecision currently here on TGL, both to the high side and to the low side. Look at the range on this. $4 to the high side on this current 5-minute candle, $2.83 to the low side. So that's crazy range here as a percentage of the overall price. We're talking over $1 worth of range here on TGL in one 5-minute candle. So the range per candle is awfully prohibitive. As I see it though, ICCT and DJT looking the best of the bunch. Here's ICCT taking out that local area high again. That area high is around 5 low teens, maybe 512, 511. It's triple topping in and around there. You have the initial candle rejection at 11:30, again at 11:55, and then currently at 12. This candle is 12:10. Obviously, it's not 12:10, but the current 5-minute candle is still that 12:10 candle. So this one looks good here. ICCT, umpteen amount of higher lows with that flat top. It feels at about 5:10. I don't mind setting up a little bit better of a price on this one. Here's 5:10 again. Let's see what it does here. Does it break through that area? No, that seller at 5:10, standing firm, man. Good rejection there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a position into this one. It's going to be small share size initially, and we'll look to dollar cost average into 460. So we're long here, 491. I'm going to put my DCAs at the levels that I like. So we're going to go ahead and wait at 82s as well. And then we're going to also wait in the low 70s. We'll hang out over here, see if we can get something out around there. Simultaneously, we'll set up some beak wetters. So if this one does pop up, we'll take some profit off the table, and then we'll set up some just like that. DJT just took 18. Okay, so DJT is about to take out the high of the day. The technical high of the day is 1824. It just popped up into 1816, I believe. We'll see now. Does DJT have the power to stay above 18 on a closing basis? That's what I want to see here from DJT, because it's had a whole lot of trouble taking 18. You can just see that on my chart. Multiple rejections at $18. That was the bad news. The good news is that each successive trough, each area low was a little bit higher, so higher lows, and that ended up manifesting, Joseph, in a big break through 18. So let's keep an eye out on this one. Back to ICCT. Yep, so we did get that print at around 498. Boom to the high side into that 509 area. And now we're going to take some more out here. Boom again to the high side on ICCT. None of my dip trades, though, got filled. So we have a smaller position, sadly, on this one. Set up at 82s, set up at 72s. None of them filled. So we ended up getting 92s, and then we took out at 511 there. Not a bad look here on ICCT.
Good look there. Sharif, hit it for me one more time.
Say less, my guy.
On the TQs. So yeah, not looking too bad here on that front, guys. You can see on my chart here that I just mentioned that we were really starting to compress in price, and we were looking for the break of it, and the volume just started to stair step slowly as we climbed higher. And then once we broke through some of those resistance zones, that just gave us the ability to continuously climb higher. How much do I have left here of this? I'm pretty sure about half. Yeah, a little under half here, guys. Yeah, 33%, we'll call it more or less closer to 40. So we'll just hold on to this just in case we decide that we want to trend. I'm going to make note of this so you can see, So you can see on the 5-minute time frame, ATR really starting to cool off. That's a positive sign for the writers. And again, on the daily, going from a high of, let's see, 1620 now to about 1568. That's not like the most drastic pullback, but again, a little decay day by day can definitely help the pain go away if you are if you're an options trader. But again, we break through those. We get a little pop, Sharif, and then we just come right back into to test those levels. So Yeah, so with NVDA coming back in, but we got it's time to pay some bills with my guy, Sharif.
Scared of losing money in Forex? Forex Vim protects your trades like a bodyguard. This smart EA uses strict stop losses, take profits, and light martingale strategy to recover losses safely. It's optimized with high quality tick data for accuracy and works in any market condition. Plus, you get updates and 24/7 monitoring so you trade with confidence. Trade safer, trade smarter. Visit forexvim.com now or click the link in the description of this video. Shout out to the great folks at Avenex. Good look there.
Yeah,
have you ever traded Forex?
No, I've never traded, other than like just like basic stuff when you convert currency.
How long you been with IB? Because I have a question
Since
about
like since I started, so
which
2022.
Okay, so that was before they made you convert. So, but when I first started with them, if you wanted to buy American stocks, you had to take your Canadian dollars, buy American dollars using the Forex,
really?
and then you got
there?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so now you don't have to do that anymore. Now you can
It just does it.
Yeah,
automatically.
exactly.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I got going.
Yeah,
on.
that's the look right now.
So yeah, so 2021, 2022 is when I started. I opened my IBKR.
That's sick, bro.
So I've been in there, been with the gang for a while.
The gang.
Yeah, we like that. But yeah, Scott, just to go on, like again, I'm not saying how long I'm going to be in this trade. I just want to hold on to it for as long as possible. But what's making me hold on to it here is the fact that Microsoft has now put in a new high a day. Google's done essentially nothing. So if it really starts to get rolling, that can be positive and we can start to climb higher. Same thing with NVDA. Essentially done nothing, moved sideways for the whole day, and if it decides that it wants to break up, then I'm going to be in the queues, and I'm positioned really well at the lower edge of this compression pattern tree.
All right, taking some profits here on LABD. I'm back into this one. This is a VWAP trade, but this is going to be a scalp-only trade, and the reason is the successive lower highs. I don't want to have to deal with trying to get at a dodge when this one is looking that it wants to break down. So we're taking profits here as this one pops up, but as I mentioned, this is going to be a scalp-only trade. We're not going to be looking for like a high day break or anything like that. And I really hope that doesn't happen because I don't want to be taking this one to the south side. That is looking. Well, I mean, what I'm thinking about here in this ineloquent statement by me is I was looking at lower highs. Now, lower highs with that 15-20 area, that's what we call a flat bottom break, right? Because that's a descending wedge. So when we get incrementally lower highs and that same level keeps coming in, 15-20, 15-25, it kind of makes me feel like this one's primed for a short. Now, this is a free for shorts type setup, right? As you can see there, I can get short on this one, no problem. The problem is, though, it's going against the trend. This thing is up 9%. LABD, by the way, is an inverse biotech ETF. The reason it's up is because biotech sector is down. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm definitely looking at scalping into this one. I'm going to look to take it out at 40s if I can, 1540s, give or take. And then we will see whether or not that 15-20 flat bottom break ends up manifesting. That's my thinking here on LABD. Multiple trades on it already, and they've been all VWAP trades. As you can see, I was in it initially at, what time was that? 11:30, 11:35. And the only reason I was in it because it retraced into VWAP. But every incremental, every successive successive high is a little bit lower than its predecessor. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just throwing out my stop on this one. We'll throw it like that so we can monitor something else. Let's go back and have a look at Donald John Trump. So bamboozlement is this one's first name, man. I know his name is Donald, but this one definitely is bamboozling the hell out of me, Adara. And I'll tell you why. Because we were talking about this one. Adara, so thank you for entertaining me. Yeah, I appreciate you, Kater. No, for real though, this one did breach 18 with a monster topping tail candle. Probably got a lot of people thinking, oh, here comes the breakout, right? 18-16, took out the previous area high. Right down below 18 we go. That's the bad news. The good news is currently we're still defending that 17 3/4, 1770 area. Well, why is that relevant? Well, that's the area low. So if we make another higher low here, then we're really talking about possibly pushing the shorts out here at 18, because clearly there's somebody shorting up a storm at $18, give or take that general area. So keeping an eye here on DJT, as I mentioned, Neil was nice enough to get me shorts on this one, so we can take this one both ways if it sets up appropriately. My dip trades here on ICCT, I left them active. None of them got filled, so I don't think these are relevant anymore, so I'm going to cancel them. Back to LABD. Sorry, I'm jumping between stocks, guys, but I'm trading and monitoring multiple ones, so keeping my eye out on this one. Still defending that volume weighted average price, but my last peak wetter here on LABD still going unfilled as the area high a little bit lower, again, as I mentioned, than its predecessor. Yeah, you got anything there? Because I was just going to cover some of these headlines and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Cover those. I mean, same thing here, Sharif. I'll just go over what I got going on and you can cover those. So we're starting to pull back a little bit. But you can see a bunch of indecision within this price action. Could that signal that, hey, we're ready to take another leg higher if we take this breath here? Some of these names pull back, and then you get the buyers to step right back in. So we'll be looking to add that. Before we get into the headlines here, real shift. Sharif, we got Trade the Pool. Robinhood took commission out of the equation, and that was huge. But trading still meant risk your own cash. Trade the Pool is picking up where Robinhood left off by making it possible to trade big without risking big. They let you trade with company capital up to $200,000 while your risk stays locked in at just a one-time fee at $47. No margin calls, no big deposit, just skill, strategy, and real opportunity. This is the future of trading. Join Trade the Pool right there, guys.
All right, so Apple today up about 4%, kind of going back and forth with Tesla as to who's the strongest Mag 7 name on the day. Tesla currently winning out 4 2/3. Apple actually dropping now below 4%. But here's the Apple headline, because this one's been in focus for a lot of people for the last little while, because it's been selling off super aggressively. So as you know, you probably have already heard, huge tariffs now by both the United States and by China on each other. So we have 104% tariffs by the U.S. on Chinese exports into the United States, and reciprocal tariffs instituted by China overnight to the tune of 84%. So that has people or companies, I should say, that rely on Chinese manufacturing scrambling to get their manufacturing supply chain the hell out of China so that they can kind of adjust to the new landscape. So Lux shares, that's one of Apple's biggest suppliers. It's a key supplier for your iPhones. It's a key supplier for your AirPods. And they're in talks to shift a lot of their production out of China, including potential expansion into the U.S. in response, obviously, to the tariffs that come into place today. The chairwoman of the company basically said she's investing in Southeast Asia and other countries other than China. And they're basically pausing some of their Chinese manufacturing production because they don't want it to be subjective to the tariffs. So she's basically saying that she's looking to expand into other jurisdictions. Now, the idea here is that they told customers in North America that they're fine, that they're absolutely willing to produce things in North America so long as the terms are favorable, but it's not going to be done overnight. She says that new production lines, even within existing factories, just to retrofit the production line, takes about 12 to 18 months for that to happen. So definitely not something that can be done overnight. So the idea here, the watch list implications or the trade implications for you should be, one, keep your eye on Apple's shifting supply chain. Look for news catalysts from like the Foxcons, from this company specifically, to shift their supply chain away from China into what we're going to call tariff-friendly jurisdictions. That should be number one. You're also looking for potential CapEx from these companies like Luxshares, Foxconn, and the others in the U.S., in Mexico, and Canada, where their tariffs are a little bit lower. And you also want to keep your eye on the growing labor tariff arbitrage between Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, and all these other countries. Essentially, what they're doing is what we call a race to the bottom. Let me give the U.S. the most favorable favorable tariff terms or the most favorable trade terms so that they can lower the tariffs on me. Therefore, I can attract the good manufacturing jobs that the Apples and the other companies, the American companies that is, will use to ship to America. So keep your eye out on that. That labor tariff arbitrage opportunity that's happening between these South Asian countries right now. It's in a race to the bottom, from my understanding, Joseph. What's going on there? What's happening over there, bro? You're in that long,
we're in that long, and we added to it there. I was just talking about it not too long ago, and we got that pop through some of these key levels here, guys. So we'll take a look at it from a 5-minute standpoint. We take that breath. Here, you see that dwindling volume, and then we get that pop right above, but now we're starting to come back in. I should have took a little bit off here, but I'm holding. I want to hold for 41 because I did add significantly right there. You can see that my average went up on the position board drastically, so I'll just have to get out break even if this doesn't work. But again, with the Mag 7 continuing to climb higher, nice little pop there. We're going to stick with this volume. Seems to be supporting the case, but again, running into some key resistance zones on that front. And I like what you're referring to there from a supply chain standpoint there, Sharif, because I think one thing to understand is that a lot of individuals are looking for the Fed to bail out kind of the market here. As you can see that we're getting hit by tariffs. But unfortunately, the Fed can't do anything from a supply standpoint, Sharif. It's more or less demand, and I do believe that the demand is here. That's what QE is essentially, it is, right? It's like they help with demand. They reduce interest rates, that gets firms, etc., start investing more and people being risk on. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I don't think we have demand issues. It's more or less going to be a supply. So QE not necessarily going to work, and I don't think the Fed is going to bail out the market like they have before, because I don't think it's the same scenario.
Keep going for a second, because I'm trying to get a chart that I really want to make a point about.
Yeah, for sure. So again, nice. See, why didn't I take it off there? I could have took it off there, but I didn't. Now we're gonna have to wait. It'd probably come back to 40.17, and that's gonna be our break even. So we'll continue to hold on. I do believe if we can hold this pivot relatively well, there we go, and we just cracked it to the downside. So yeah, tried that added aggressively here, just trying to make the winners as big as possible. But doesn't seem to be wanting to work right now. Again, at 40.17, we'll just hop out of that trade because we did add there. So SPY close 1%. Okay, so nice little pop back up here, guys. Just gonna try to hold on. If the Meg wants to participate, that would be fantastic. Okay, Microsoft drag us higher, and it looks like it wants to do that there, my friend. So you can see that Microsoft still at that high a day here, guys, and now starting to climb back towards the top. What is Google up to? This is what I'm talking about. 5-letter names. You don't really want to avoid trade these, but again, a nice breakout. Consolidation phase heading towards the top side. What do you got going on there?
Yeah, I was trying to find a chart of the comparison between the American GDP growth and the EU GDP growth since the GFC.
Okay.
And that was kind of really the line they're saying. They had been growing in parallel, to be honest with you, until the great financial crisis, and then that was like a huge marked departure. I had that chart. I don't know if it's on my phone. I'll try to find it. But I was just trying to respond to an individual in the chat, and a fair comment by them. HR Lopez. China could always just increase trade with the EU. LOL. You guys act like the US is the only market. LOL. No, brother, it's not. That's really not what we're saying at all. But the fact of the matter is the buying power and the growing consumer exists on, that's why I was looking for the chart. It's really the United States. I mean, Europe has kind of been, since the GFC, it's been sideways. I mean, it's growing, obviously, but it's had its fair share of problems. So by no means are we discounting the EU, but I'm just going where the data is pointing me. The growing market, the one that's growing substantially year over year for the developed markets, that is, has been the United States. It hasn't been the European Union. Now, there may be some outlying states that have outperformed within the overall EU, but it really hasn't been a fair comparison, to be quite honest with you. So I respect your opinion, but I just think your data is inaccurate. Let me know what you have to say about that. I'd love to hear your opinion.
I agree with you on that front there too, Sharif. I mean, the American consumer is like the Super Bowl, right? If you want to run a business and get your business going, you obviously want to tap into the largest economy. You're not wrong that the fact that, hey, we can just go to other trade partners, and that's what some countries are most definitely going to think about exercising. It's like, okay, but at the end of the day, you want to be able to tap into the largest market and the largest economy, which America is. So,
Eddie R. But the U.S., the cries on their debt, they're not very happy about that. Yeah, I agree with you completely there, Eduardo, because quite frankly, I think that's what Donald Trump is trying to do. He wants to devalue the U.S. dollar to increase exports. Simultaneously, he wants to lower the shorter dated yield, specifically the 10-year, because they've issued so much debt and treasuries in the last 4 to 5 years, obviously, to finance COVID. And then during the previous administration, a lot of shorter dated treasuries were issued, and the coupon, the interest rate that has to be paid on those shorter dated treasuries is prohibitively high from a historical standpoint. So they're trying to get that down so that they can balance the sheet. So completely agree with you. That is definitely something they need to focus on. I think that's what he's trying to do. Whether or not he executes on it and whether or not he's going about it the right way, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, completely agree with you on that, Eddie. No disagreement there, man. All right, here's what we're looking at. Here's what we got on the small cap gapper list. Guys, this one, yeah, there's not a whole lot going on right now. As you can see, most of them are breaking down. AEHL below VWAP, Vero below VWAP, ICCT setting up well, but definitely having trouble with $5. You can see TGL dropped off a cliff. DJT's in a bit of a range right now between the volume weighted average price at 1750 and 18. LABD's been putting in lower highs for a while. This one looks awfully flat bottom breakish, and BLIV is absolutely below VWAP, so that doesn't interest me. Adara, what's up?
Google here near its day's high, so that is certainly to the upside. Company announcing that it's making its global private network available to enterprise customers at day's highs. Worth noting here, GOOGL, this 5-letter ticker, certainly one you might want to be looking at today. Back to you.
For that. And Ronnie, obviously when I say don't trade 5-letter names, I'm being slightly sarcastic, so I'm not, don't take everything at face value. But yeah, Google is starting to climb higher here. Amazon as well too, guys. Good look on that front. We're going to hold on to this position. This could have been a liquidity grab before we start to climb higher. 40.17 is my average price. I'm going to try to hold on until 41.17. So we'll hold this full position until the dollar club, and I think we can get into those areas. So 424 maybe roughly on the Qs there, guys. So yeah, be a little bit patient on this front and just hold on to these winners as long as we can, especially if the market wants to trend. But one thing to note, it looks like we're putting in this inside day. Am I saying that we're not going to break through that? I think at some point we might eventually, but again, there's a couple key things that I'm just looking for in this market, and they seem to be working out. Holding on nice and steadily, diving hands this trade here, Sharif.
Hold on.
You do what you got to do. Hold on, my guy. Hold on, Joe.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this chart, Joe. It's driving me crazy.
Get the chart, man. Get the chart. So here we go. Still holding on to this. How much? 25, 37 more cents. And then we will be able to start to take some profit. So I want to hold on to this one. Nice little pump up here. And this is what I'm referring to here, guys. Like, as long as these big names start to climb, they're going to drag the overall market up with it. So holding on to this as long as I possibly can. There's this range. We're now going to go to the top end of it here. If Google decides that it wants to start ripping, if Meta decides it wants to start ripping, if Microsoft decides it wants to start ripping, I'm going to be participating on that front because I am in the TQQs. Nice trade on Qs, man. I appreciate that, Las Polios. Very much so. Do you believe the worst has passed, Joe? See, the thing is, though, like, one thing to note, and I don't know. So this is how I'm looking at it. So we got tariffed all around the board. Everybody did. So what the market is essentially forward-looking. We haven't seen how it reflected in earnings just yet. So has the worst came? Yeah, the market's pricing it in. Okay, so the market is pricing what potentially can happen. And if we can get better, if the numbers come out better, then you'll start to see the rallies. Is the worst yet to come? Maybe, possibly, because you can like take into consideration the fact that we're down, we're like officially in bear market territory, right? So 22% on the NAS, and at the lows, roughly around 25%. Is it over yet? I don't know exactly. I think a lot of it will revolve around what China does. If these guys continue to go back and forth and you get a couple bad headlines, then we can continue to move to the downside. I mentioned earlier that the market is headline sensitive, so you just got to wait for them to come out and play off that price action.
All right, man. I'm just going to give up on it. I got one, but it's not great. I mean, it kind of makes the point, but it doesn't give me all the data that I want. So this is by an individual by the name of Robin Brooks on X. You can see how old this is because it still has the the bird for Twitter. This is back in 2022, so it doesn't involve the last couple of years, to be fair. And this is from the GFC. So the reason I wanted to show it from the GFC onwards is because the European Union and the economy of the United States were essentially in lockstep until the GFC. And then the GFC was kind of the dividing line, or the kind of the start of where they started to diverge. And you can just see the black line here being the US GDP growth, and the red being basically the EZ, the EU here. I don't know why he called it EZ. Why do you call it a Eurozone? I see. Okay. And so you've had a marked departure, whereas before they were overlapping 06, 07. You could even make the argument that the EU was going to overtake the US at one point, and then it kind of just all went downwards, so to speak. We'll see. We'll have to see if they can recover, but definitely a more regulatory environment. Now, that may be better for the consumer. The consumer is more protected from predatory practices, but it also is a little bit tougher for business. And so this is kind of what I'm talking about over here. I have no disrespect for the EU, but hey, man, data is data. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Now, I'm long here on DJT. I'm looking to play a range on this one. This isn't going to be a breakout trade. So we got long over here on DJT, where we got long at 80s. It's showing me 83s. So let's set up a couple of beak wetters over here and see if we can get something possibly into the upside on that. I'm also short LABD. This one, I was waiting for a flat bottom break. We got it here, but it's not really tanking downwards. So what I'm doing is I'm risking to the prior bar high. So we're short at 14s. And then if this one wants to retake the prior high, which is around 37s, we'll cover that one. But I'm going to look to wet the beak here into the low 15s, Joseph.
Yeah, good look there, guys. So, hey, I'm looking at Tesla's chart here as well. Are we going to potentially double top? We'll see if we can break through that. But you can see that we have multiple touches on the 5-minute time frame. So coming in as key resistance zones there, guys. Let's take a look at the options chain. So we're hovering right around 233. What's the chain telling us at those key levels? Is there any high open interest at those strike prices? So 232.5s. See, nothing standoutish. I think the fact is that there's not much going on the call side, and I very rarely see this. This is the start of my first bear market, I guess. 2022 was, I guess, one, but this was a fast and furious one. But again, nothing that stands out on the options chain from Tesla's standpoint. The call side that says, hey, why are we running into this key level? We'll pull up the Qs to see if there's anything any high levels of open interest. The thing is that there's just not enough demand at higher prices right now. The uncertainty in the market is most definitely coming into effect. So on this week's expiration cycle, there's essentially nothing to the top side. So if buyers really want to step in, they can push price higher, but it doesn't want to seem to be the case right now, Sharif. The Q's possible double top here on the 5-minute as well, too. You can see that we're running into these resistance zones, now coming back in, forming this shelf here. So a move back to the volume weighted average price can definitely come into play if all these big names start to reject and decide that they want to head back to the lower ends of the zone. Now, before I send it back, some individuals were asking me about Hood. I built a thesis on Hood and I was ready to execute on it, but unfortunately it just didn't come into play. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to play a bounce here, and I went over some statistics here on Hood. Again, when you have heightened volatility, you'll get an increase in transactions. That's usually good for some of these brokerages. But then once everybody has hit that panic mode and everybody's more liquid, now you're going to get more transactions, and that's less assets under management, and that's less management fees. So that's why you can see the likes of Hood getting hit 50 to 55% to the downside, and those pops aren't really that strong. I'll be patient and wait for it because there might still be a play, but those signals that I was looking for haven't shown how I would like them to necessarily, Sharif.
Yes, absolutely. Interesting look here. I'm still long DJT. The spread's opening up just a skosh here. So it was tighter a little bit. Now it's about a 3-penny spread. So we're not getting filled on the move up. But this is a range trade. I just want to make that very clear. This is going to be a range trade and range trade only. We're not looking for a breakout until and if we get a decided $18 breakout on a closing basis. And that has not happened today. We've had multiple wicks through 18. Initially, the first wick there was at around 10.10, and then we had that one that probably got a lot of longs caught offside there at 12.15, and Yeah, but nothing. There's zero closing prints above $18, at least on my 5-minute chart. I'm talking about the 5-minute chart, by the way. So we just went the beak there at 86s. Now we're setting up at 89s. I have another dip trade that has gone unfilled in the low 70s. I'd ideally like to get that one so we'd have a little bit more shares with which to play. Otherwise, we're just going to take what we've got over here and set up something to the long side. So the next level I'm waiting at is 89s. So let me go ahead and wait at 95s for a possible fill there. But I'd love to get that fill at 72s if possible. Current volume weighted average price level on DJT, 1764. That's what I see there on my side chart. And my VWAP starts populating at 4 a.m., so keep your eye out on that. I see a small cap gapper that was halted to the downside, TIVC now open. I won't be trading this. This is below the volume weighted average price, so be careful with that one. I see you guys talking about that in the chat. Yeah, not much here, Joseph. They're all kind of giving up the ghost, man. All the small cap gappers, we might have to flip to some of these large caps right now because all these small cap gappers displease me in terms of where they're setting up and where the price levels are. So we'll have to pack our patience or not trade at all over here. So that's when I look. Let's flip now to big tech and have a look at what big tech is doing because this will be the first time I look at big tech on the day. So who's doing well here and who's kind of okay. So Apple obviously has selling at $180. That you don't need to be a chartered market technician to see that. Multiple rejections into that 180 level. Sure, there's been a couple of closing prints above it, but most of the prints below. Now, that's the bad side. That's the resistance side. What's the good side here? Well, every successive trough a little bit higher than its predecessor. So you're getting higher lows here on Apple. That doesn't mean it's a glowing endorsement to take this one as a breakout trade through 180. That's not what I'm trying to say. But if you're trying to gauge trend, this could be a bit of an interesting look there. Microsoft looking awfully good. It's not the biggest percentage winner on the day, but it's a lot closer to highs than most other names are. It's about 60 pennies off the highs. And Microsoft, I believe, is now again the world's most valuable company, if I'm not mistaken, $2.7 billion or trillion dollar market cap. And Apple is 2.70, Microsoft 2.70. Okay. Hold on. 2.007. I know we got an ad read. 2.707. 2.705.
What's NVDA at?
No, they're below. Yeah,
They're
NVIDIA's
below,
getting
eh?
shellacked now, dude. 2.44. So
You're
yeah,
not even in the running right now, my friend. But
Who's paying us a bill
we
right now,
are
Joseph?
WorkSport, introducing a new discovery on the NASDAQ, WorkSport, under ticker WKSP, folks. WorkSport is a U.S.-based manufacturer and rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, WorkSport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP, discover the future of clean energy with WorkSport. There, guys, scan that QR code and go check it out. Yeah, good look there on seeing who's leading there. It's a neck and neck race there, Sharif. They're both at like 2.7.
Very close.
So very, very close there on that front. And like, guys, let's take a look at Microsoft's daily. Like, this stock is not done too well over the past year or so, right? Like, it's been horrible. And the fact that it's still at competing in this race is absolutely insane. Like, look at Microsoft from January of 2024. I mean, like, yeah, you get kind of, a move there, but from an appreciation standpoint, this is not fun to sit through. And then now you crack through some of these support levels, heading to the downside. How much more is there to go on Microsoft? I don't know. All you can do is just sit there, be patient, and wait. But you can see that volatility is here, that volume really starting to pick up here. But again, some nice price compression would be good inside day on MSFT. Let's see what Adair is up to, guys, as we start to rally in.
Boom.
Keep an eye here on NVDA. CNBC apparently reporting that the Trump administration has backed off of its crackdown on the H20 chips. So those are NVIDIA's made for China chips. We know that they were made for China. Then there was actually a little bit of a ban situation. So keep an eye here on NVDA. That's coming from CNBC. Now, NPR also reporting that this is happening following a Mar-a-Lago dinner. So two different sources reporting that this crackdown on the H20 chips is apparently being backed off from by the Trump administration. Back to you.
What's up, Katina, man? What's up, brother, man? I'm liking the shirt. I liking the Under Armour shirt here today. Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, oh man, I would love to wear a hoodie because I'm always cold and stuff, but you can't wear a hoodie, man. Like, give me that look. That look for me. Don't hit the fail,
the
man.
market moves like the waves, always rolling. So stay in the game. Like, subscribe.
Play Katina, man. Play Katina, man. It's like 5 minutes long. Play it.
Katina, hit it, bro.
Hit it,
Come
Katina,
on,
man.
bro.
Just
Come
hit
on,
it,
man. We
It's
haven't
like
even
5
seen
minutes.
it. Guys.
Oh, it's them. Hit it.
Andre,
Hit it
can
there,
you
Andre.
hit Sean's thing? Just hit it.
You guys want something to be like, it's kind of painfully long?
You found the best thing on the channel. So what are you going to do now? Simple. Hit the like, subscribe, and share it. Don't forget to follow us.
I love it, Katina. It's beautiful, bro. It's some beef.
Every single trading day, 8:30 to 4:30 is Trader TV Live. We're here, baby.
Hey, that was sick.
Yeah,
What do you mean, man?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I
Good
love it.
stuff,
I love
bro.
it. Shout out to Sean, man. All right, Joseph, we're doing real well here on this LABD
And we're
short.
doing it live.
We're doing it freaking live. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
Can you tell we're having a good time? All right, guys, we took LABD short again, and now it's really dropping. Guys, a flat bottom break manifesting right now on your boy LABD, so we'll keep tabs on that one. We're short at 12s, wetting the beak there at 96s. I also got Donald John Trump. I got the dip trade. So now I've got an average price of 77s. So let's set up some beak wetters there, see if we can get something to the high side. How did I only get a partial fill here, bro? Like, how does that even happen? I wasn't even asking for too many shares. Come on now. All right, so we're doing well here on LABD. The bottom is really dropping. Descending wedge, guys. Lower highs with that same price level support. That is usually the formula for this flat bottom break. There we go. It's continuing to bleed here, Joseph. We're going to let this one go to the downside. LABD is an inverse biotech ETF. That means when biotechs go up, it goes down. When biotechs go down, it goes up. It's up 6%, but it's giving up the ghost now, and it's dropping bigly.
Ooh.
Oh, it's about to lose 90 pennies, so we are 20 pennies in the money on this one. Let's see what this one wants to do, Joseph.
Yes, good luck there, guys. Okay, here we go. I told you, we're just going to hold on to this. 40.17. I told you the target, 41.17.
Oh.
We added right here. We're getting these breakouts. These big names are starting to climb. We're doing it live. Holding on to this, you can see our entry. I was talking about the price compression here earlier. We had that done earlier in the week as well too. So starting to climb higher. Now about to tap into 41s. Good look here on some of these. Maybe I will, just to be a little cautious, take a little bit off, but the primary target is around 41.17. That's what we want to see. Adara, what are you up to?
What I have here is a reminder. In 10 minutes, we will be getting the bond auction. That is going to be the 10-year bond auction. This is really hotly anticipated. Sometimes these auctions move the market. Other times they do nothing at all. But either way, I think they're very worth being aware of. This is the TLT, which is actually the 20-year plus Treasury bond. But regardless, keep an eye on this ETF, potentially TLT. Keep an eye on the market as well. And also, if anyone missed it, there was a bit of a move at NVIDIA. And I brought the story a couple minutes ago. But just to recap, in case anyone missed it or was not aware, both NPR and CNBC separately reporting that the Trump administration is going to be backing off of its crackdown on NVIDIA's H20 chip. So the H20 chip was an NVIDIA's China-safe chip. Then it was actually excluded and then further banned in China, even though it was made specifically to be compliant with the crackdown in China. So now it looks like that crackdown will be backed off from by the Trump administration. Again, that is according to both NPR and CNBC. And NPR actually added that apparently this back off from the crackdown has to do with the fact that there was a dinner in Mar-a-Lago. So I would like to know a little bit more about that, but regardless, what we know right now is apparently the administration backing off of its NVIDIA H20 crackdown. Back to you.
It's really interesting. That's good. That's a good look there because NVIDIA relies, well, it used to be 20% of their revenue. It's down to about 15 to 18%, give or take now.
Coming from China, that
Yes.
is. Yeah.
Sorry, I should have clarified that. And obviously, you know, Chinese they're getting their hands on a lot of these chips because they're excellent at reverse engineering. And we all know how that works. So keep your eye out on that. And word around the street or water cooler or whatever is that they're really going aggressively in the ultraviolet lithography machine production. They're looking to overtake ASML because ASML they're banned.
That was your one.
That's mine. I added this morning on
play there. That's
What's
your
that?
monopoly play there.
Well, there it is.
Yeah,
It's well, literally, I think there's one Japanese company, maybe Fuji Films or something like that. It could be Canon. I'm not exactly sure. What's that? Kodak. I don't think it's Kodak, Katina Man, but yeah, that's a good call there. That actually makes ultraviolet lithography machines as well. I can Google it. But yeah. All right, guys, we're doing well here on Donald John Trump. We took a 20-penny winner. We added at 70, took out some at 90s, but that one in the high 90s, still unfilled. Very pleased with this LABD trade, continuing to go down. Literally have bottom wick right now. Pleased as dang punch on this trade here. LABD took the flat bottom break through that 15, I want to say 20. 15, 15, and this one continued to bleed to the downside, but I am keeping my eye on higher lows. So even though this one did lose VWAP, it's still putting in higher lows. If you were to base the prior area low at around 1460, it now found a little bit of support at 14 mid-80s. So keeping an eye out on that. What else we got over here? China torpedoed themselves, kicking out BTC miners, says drop trades. Yeah, I do remember that. I think that they were worried. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but they were worried about a couple of things. One, over usage of less expensive energy, and so you could have a lot of miners move into these jurisdictions. We already know that they energy shop for low prices. And number two, I think that they were worried that it could overtake their currency, obviously, and remove some power from their hands. We know that the digital yuan is a real thing, so keep an eye on that. Aaron Scott Matthews, isn't it Zeus? I don't know what that means, bro. All right, what else we got? Beer producer. It's really so good. Is it really so good for NVIDIA? Maybe they will get no chips at all. Think about the Trump administration for a minute. Repeat, so hold on. They're removing, or they're trying to remove some of the barriers or the crackdown on the H20s. What do you mean by that? Explain yourself, beer producer. I don't get it. Around 31, Joseph Sharif, any covered call strategy? That's going to be you. Any covered call strategy for Hood, as I have $60 average price of 100 shares. Currently, I'm down close to 42.5%. I need your advice, bro.
Bro.
I know I don't mean to put you on the spot, obviously, when someone is, yeah.
That's what, but this is what we do, right? This is what we enjoy doing, Sharif. So what do? We pull up our chain for our guy. What was his name again in the chat there, Sharif?
Aram 31.
Aram 31, our guy over there. Yeah, there's obviously multiple. There's a covered call strategy, and I think that you kind of talked yourself into it. You have an average of 60, but one thing to note, because sentiment is so negative, you're not going to be collecting as much premium to the top side. But what you can do is just go, just like, again, your average price is 60. That's the thing, right? Like, you don't want to start writing. Well, I guess you won't get assigned. Yeah, so, okay, yeah, that's perfect. So what you can start doing, if you don't think that we're going to climb significantly higher, I'll go a little further dated out. So we'll go to about May 23rd, we'll call it. And then we're going to go to the halfway point from where we're currently sitting at. So that'll put us around, we'll go flat, 50 even flat, all right? So if you were to start selling those contracts, you can collect $70 as of now. Now, one thing I want to note is that premium collection will never amount to capital or stock appreciation. Always keep that in mind. It doesn't matter what you're hedging, you're not going to be able to collect that much. But what you can most definitely do is just start doing what you said. Start writing covered calls on things that you don't believe you're going to get assigned at, because you don't want to also write something at a lower price and then get assigned 10 points lower, right? So that'd be, if you got assigned and it goes north of 50, then you have a 10-point loss there, and you don't necessarily want to realize that just yet. So that's my advice to you. Go a month or two out and find somewhere that you're comfortable, do your technical analysis and be like, hey, I don't think I'm going to get assigned at this level, and then just start writing those contracts. Again, all it will do is just minimize your losses. It's not going to totally wipe them out, but it can reduce some of that unrealized, and I think that's what you want to start to aim at right now. 41.17, we hit that there, Sharif. But yeah, for that, again, I'm a big believer in Hood. I grabbed some for the long term. I'm looking to buy some more. I think that their Q1 is going to be pretty good. But again, I think Q1 is going to come out into the
Nvidia's
guidance.
flying.
Yeah, it's absolutely flying.
Yeah.
Guidance is going to be really, really important for this quarter here.
All right, shout out to Beer Producer. Thank you, my man, for responding to me in the chat and clarifying your opinion. Basically, he's saying that whether or not the crackdown has momentarily stopped on the H20, which is a China-specific NVIDIA chip, it doesn't mean that it can't be cracked down on in the future. And I was responding to him saying, especially now that some bloggers who have been known to kind of be mouthpieces for the Chinese Communist Party are floating the idea online, it's circulating around WeChat as well, that China could possibly stop protecting U.S. intellectual property. So by that, they mean, you could sell, probably wouldn't do this to Apple because Apple produces a lot of stuff there, but they could make iPhones for 1/3 of the price and then sell them to all the other countries that don't have a problem buying them. So that's really what's being talked about now. Everything feels like it's on the table. And I would say to you guys that was it was kind of preceded by a comment that came out of the Chinese consulate or embassy, I think last month or the month before, which said if the U.S., or it was Chinese saying this, if the U.S. wants a trade war, tariff war, or any other kind of war, we're ready or we're down or whatever the comment specifically said. I'm paraphrasing here. So the point was that they kind of were showing that everything is kind of on the table here. And whether or not they deal with Donald Trump the same way they dealt with him in 1.0, I think is probably not the case. I think we definitely are seeing a little bit of a different approach from the Chinese this time. That's just my feeling about what's happening this time around. So let's keep an eye out. Yeah, Pickle Jim, China not messing around. Corey. Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying, Corey. This is exactly what happens when you mistreat the people you took advantage of to produce most of your goods. Yeah, thank you for your opinion. I can definitely see how that could definitely be looked at like that. So we'll keep an eye out. Adara has breaking news.
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone, this bond auction in less than a minute, 10-year bond auction. This is just Google, which apparently is sticking with the $75 billion CapEx plan. That's why that chart's up. But right now, again, remember, bond auction, it usually does not come out right away. I will put it in the chat the second I get it, and I will let you guys know here as well. So I'll send you back to the guys in the meantime. When I have that information, I will let you know right away.
Thank you for that, Adara. Well, I was just reading a chat here. CJ, how much of their GDP is based in a few locations? Are you talking about China? CJ, if you're talking about how much of their GDP goes to the U.S., I don't know if that's what you're asking, but I actually had an interesting data point on that. I can't find it at the moment, but I did it in my morning prep today. Essentially, it was, I think, not 20%. It's something less than that. If you want to take over for a second, Joseph, just so I can find my notes.
Most definitely.
Thank you.
Katina Man is short. I hear him saying that. I like this potential signal right here on NVDA. But again, just when this market is starting to climb higher, in these oversold conditions, a double top would be really nice. You can see that somewhat forming here on the SPY, a nice indecision print on the Qs. You can see this mark on the Qs, on the SPY, and NVDA here as well. So that can be a positive sign. But if we crack 101 to the top side, then I think there might be some more room to go up there. So yeah, again, I like that price is compressing. I'll pull up the Qs here real quick because you can see that we have now gone vastly under that $17 ATR, and now we're at like 50, in between 15, 25. So we're just like around a $10 range right now, which is a positive sign for volatility compression. We'll pull up the daily and see what we got going on for the ATR and see if it's starting to slowly cool off. I know from an intraday standpoint it is, and yeah, still kind of the same narrative, but a good look here for that front. Again, let's see if that comes into play. As for RM31, sorry. I know it's ARAM 31, sorry. I know it's really hard, and you're saying that you weren't feeling all that good about what's happening. Just put it in the back of your mind. The stocks don't care care about you. The market, unfortunately, doesn't care about any of us. So don't let it get to you.
Katina Man is like, they don't.
They don't. No, they don't care at all. Like, there you go. We just break to the top side here. Like, they don't care. So again, I've been in that boat so many times. Wow, this is insane. Yeah, this is not good. I'm probably gonna get squeezed out of my shorts here, guys. On my bear call spread. We're gonna take some off there. Great, no fill. Love that.
Wow.
I don't get that. We're gonna send it to Adara. Yeah, we're gonna go to Adara right now. So
The 10-year note auction here. So the actual high yield coming in 4.435%. That is above the previous of 4.31%. So good note here for the 10-year high yield. But this is also TVGN. This one here is popping a little bit to the upside. One of RFK Jr.'s advisors here saying that apparently TVGen Bio is the first company to publicly state its support and collaboration with the White House. So again, TVGen, according to one of RFK Jr.'s advisors, of course, RFK Jr. is leading the Health and Human Services Department. TVGen reportedly willing to work with RFK and the White House. So keep an eye on this one popping to the upside. And of course, we did have that 10-year note auction. Once again, high yield, 4.435%. Back to you.
For that, Adara.
yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to cover this. Shout out to guys. You guys you're right. I had forgotten exactly. So Chinese exports to the United States account for approximately 3% of their GDP. Just exports, okay? I don't even think, in fact, it definitely doesn't include services. Right? So anything that isn't a physical product would be categorized under that service heading. So just the exports, 3%, Katina Man, with 2.35% from domestic value added and 0.65% from related manufacturing capex. Goldman Sachs chiming in this morning about this whole shtick, saying the first 50% tariff hit GDP by 1.5%, then the next 50 will likely subtract an additional 0.9%. So they're gauging somewhere along the lines of 2.5 to 2.8%, about 2.5%, basically a little bit less, of an effect on Chinese GDP if these tariffs are to have a full effect. So we'll have to wait on that, and that sparked, multiple different downgrades on Chinese GDP forecasts in the future. Citi today, one of the first ones, cutting China's 2025 GDP forecast down to 4.2% from 4.7, citing obviously little scope, they say, that a deal is struck. I happen to disagree there. I think that Donald Trump will probably strike a deal. You want to cover something over here? Because you're getting amped up, bro.
I'm not that amped, man. Okay. I'm just trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The market's flying.
Yeah, it's absolutely flying. Like, I don't know, guys. I say it all the time. Like, the mag, just doing mag things right now, just climbing and just bringing everything up along with it. So a rising tide lifts all boats. And it's nothing to get too giddy about right now. We're still down 25%. And I mean, the Qs are up, about 1 and something here. So, again, you don't want to celebrate too hard.
No.
2.5% here. Like, it's not the be-all to end all. It's nice to see a nice pop here in the market. You can see that we sat into this trade. We had that price compression pattern that we were referring to earlier, and it worked out today, right? So that's kind of the game plan. What an ad here there, Sharif. Yeah, I was slightly red on the day, going from red to green on this one. But there you go. Like, guys, I was in at the bottom of the lows, added to the position, and I just held on to this. So, boom, 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 diamond hands, and just going to continue to let these big names roll if they want to start to recover. And by all means,
there he is.
Yeah, by all means, let it do so and just try to ride this wave to the top side, Sharif. But a nice, look at this breakout here. And I was still holding on to the majority of my position. Yeah, exactly. So I had a target of 41.20s, and then we exceeded that, tapping into about 42s, and then looking to climb a little bit higher here because that volume is in now, Sharif. Look at that. So this might be sustained. This could be a sustained move to the top side. So just be wary. And what did I mention earlier? There's nothing from an open interest standpoint on the call side. What does that lead to us, Sharif?
Yes, sir.
If you get a pop and you get participants to start to really dive in, that is the path of least resistance. And you can see that here in the overall market as we just took that massive pop here.
Do you like taking the path of least resistance?
Sometimes it depends what it is, right? It's not usually it depends how much resistance am I facing and what is is potentially on the other side.
I like it, man. Nuanced answer for a nuanced man.
So there we go.
All right, shout out to Beer Producer. Could you pull up the triple Q on the daily and look at the 5 EMA and how it has been a huge resistance the last day? So I don't have the 5 EMA, but I'll put it on for you. I'll throw on the daily. I have the 7 EMA. And, you know, they're not going to be far off, so I get your point. The 7 EMA is going to always be the green line. You can see it right there on my chart. So you're absolutely right. It's holding trend. It's resisting the shorter-term moving average. That is typically what happens in a down market. So your point, very, very well taken. That is kind of normal there. If you want to base a trade off that, especially for the swing, or you can do it through the options market, shout out to Joey Options. Yeah, you could definitely do it that way. Shout out to Beer Producer. Good call on you by there, my friend. Apple just dropped $2 This is madness, dude. I mean, the market is super volatile right now. We just got a 183.02 high. We're down in a 181.02. So that was quick as you like. We drop in. What I want to see now, does Apple hold 180? We've cleared 180 by $3. Do we now use 180 as support? Initially, I'll submit to you, it was a bit of a resistance level. We had multiple prints above 180, but you can see we kept dropping below it, trying to retake it, drop it below it again. Then over here, as we approach the auction, you could see the higher low and the discernible pattern come in. We rocket up into 183. We're right back down now into 181. Let's see if 180 holds. That's what I'll be looking for there. So AAPL. The second strongest name, or actually now the third, because NVIDIA and Tesla ahead of it.
Can I add something to your Apple point there, Sharif? Yeah, thank you, Andre. We're gonna do the playmaker poll in a moment here. Diamond hands from Katina, man. There we go, diamond hand Katina, working really good. But dude, when was the last time, other than yesterday, it kind of just gave my point away. Did you ever see Apple move 20 points in a session?
No.
Very rarely. Like you don't see that.
Yeah,
that's what I said. With the exception, that's what I said. I kind of gave my point away yesterday with the exception of it, right?
We called it the dead one, and it wasn't just because I felt one day calling it the dead one.
When you move 20 points, you're very much alive.
Oh, you're alive, baby.
You're very much alive.
No, seriously though. I mean,
Okay. Let's do this here now, Sharif.
Oh yeah, you got to pay a bill?
No. We ain't paying.
Are we paying a bill on?
No. We're doing the playmaker here, unless you want to cover something out there, brother. All right. We're going to the long side, I believe, here, guys. Is that right, Andre? We're going long.
Attaboy, Katina, man. Attaboy.
All right, that's all right. No, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there, brother. It's on the chat. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going live. We're doing it live, but we're going live too. So there we go. 77, my guy, Mr. Mario Lemieux. Long. We're going long. We're going Mario Lemieux right here.
Hey, how about Yarmer?
Yeah, Yarmer's all right, but Mario's Canadian. See, the thing is, he's Canadian. You know what I mean, right? So we got to go. We got to go. But the thing is, what people don't understand how good Mario Lemieux was, the amount of goals that he had with the amount of games that he played.
Because he was playing around Gretzky's time. That's why, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
he was
Gretzky overshadowed him.
But I mean, Sid came into the league. Sidney Crosby came into the league when Mario Lemieux was still on the pen.
I remember that. Wasn't he living in his basement for a hot minute?
Like maybe.
He was, dude. Because he was like 18 or something.
Yeah, but I mean, so but by all means, like, shout out Mario for having all those goals in those amount of games.
Isn't Mario in the front office or like the?
Yeah, I think
he is, right? He's in ownership. Thank you. Yeah. Pittsburgh. Yeah.
There you go. So Katina, man. What do I know about Jofa? Come on, man. You know about those. All right,
guy, bro.
Let's do this.
I'm ready to go, baby.
You ready to go?
501.40.
501.
We're going long.
40. We're going long.
So 503.40. Profit taker.
40 profit taker.
540 stop loss. I don't know, bro.
500. Yeah, it looks like we might
get stopped out of this one. It's a tight stop here, but that's what it is.
Yeah. 540. We're going long. We added yesterday's profit, but that's okay. That's why we do this.
The Katina man shorted the pop on the futures, guys, by the way, on the TQQQ. So keep your eye out for his levels. He's throwing them in the chat. More Trader TV is being renovated today. So you're going to have to keep your eye out on the chat for Katina and Neil's levels on these trades. But he is short the future on the pop, guys. Want to communicate that to you guys. Now, I'm happy with how I traded DJT over here. We added into 1770. and we scalped out into 18. So this one was a range trade. It did take 18 though, and it took it on a closing basis for the first time today, at least on the 5. But this is how much pressure downward that is there is on DJT at 18. It got up into 18.11 on a closing basis, even made another high going to 18.25, almost 18.25, and now we're back down to 18. My question to myself and to DJT here is, does it hold 18? Do we now use 18 as a support level in the way that we use it as resistance? We're a little bit above it, a little bit below it, but we're hanging out around 18. I'll know for a fact that we won't use it as support if we drop into, the low 90s, high 80s. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, 1796, 1795 max to the low side, then a move back above into 18. That's what I'll be looking for here on DJT. I can take this bad boy both ways. We can take it long and short. On this one, it was a pay for shorts type situation. It's up 8%, so I don't want to be quick to take it short. I will kind of insist that it loses the volume weighted average price before I go short. That's around 17 2/3. So it's going to have to drop into the 17 mid-60s for me to get involved here on this short for DJT. So that's what I'm looking at right now. It's really the only small cap gapper like name that I like on the market right now. All the other small caps, in my humble submission, are retracing to the downside, and they're no longer for me. So here's what I'm doing. I'm getting long DJT. We're gonna try to use 18 as support. We're long 1803. I'm gonna give this to 90s. It's gonna have to hold 90. Otherwise, we're out. Joseph Wilson, what do you got?
Yeah, Scott Tomlinson, I like having conversation with you, so I see what you're going on. So the cost of these VIX calls in the area tell you everything you need to know, not bullish here. Yeah, just elaborate a little bit more. I agree with you on that front. You don't want to be buying VIX calls all the way up here, and if that's what you're referring to, I think you're right. So let's see what George Fontes. Oh, I like that. Leafs play at Tampa tonight in a big game, fighting for playoff seeding. Let's go. Oh, whoa. Let's go Lightning. Slapped the fail on that one there, my guy. I shouldn't even have read that one. Let's go Leafs. Yeah, never mind. Like, what? That's insane. Yeah, there we go. Fail. Yeah, boo. No. Yeah, see you later, Lightning. Come on, George Fontes. I don't know if you're over there in Tampa Bay, but I think you guys are in tough tonight. Yeah, never mind Tampa Bay. We lost to Florida yesterday, so we're just doing that southern trip. I know Austin Matthews partying too much. And the thing is, though, my cousin used to work at this bar called King Taps, and Katina, Man, and Neil were there, I think, watching some basketball or something along those lines. And anyways, my cousin said, like, Austin, after every game, is in King Taps at home. So it's like, Austin, man, come on. I know you got 14 sheets. You're making 14 sheets. You got to leave the ladies alone a little bit here and kind of just focus on some hockey. So, because we essentially have only won one round in your tenure with the Leafs. So get that focus going on. So give Joseph Bree, he wasn't closing. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, sports and stonks. I'm going to stop doing that, to be honest. Whoa, Mean Gene says short the Leafs, easy money. I mean, hey, I'm not going to disagree with that. We've only won one playoff round with these guys, and we've essentially never won the division, with the exception of the North Division. But that was a joke because that was during COVID. But yeah, anyways, back to these markets to see what's going on. Tesla broke through some of these resistance zones here, guys. So that's a positive sign, and the volume was there. So if you get that retest, you might get that slow grind higher. The more sideways we move, the better off I personally am. Anyways, so Stanley Game. I am from Toronto, my friend. Born and raised. So this is where we are, is in the city of Toronto. So there we go. Canada and Toronto. So we'll always rep the Leafs. You know, the Katina, Man, and Neil, those guys are big Jays fans, Raps fans, and Leafs fans. So, yeah, there we go. George, I respect your Leafs, but am a Tampa area native. If we don't win it all, I will be pulling for Toronto if they go further than my Bolts. Yeah, well, hey, listen, man, I've been pulling for Toronto for a long time, and I haven't seen too much success on that front. I know Tampa, you guys got a couple cups with that team that you guys had. Victor Hedman being one of my favorite defenseman of all time. But one thing to note, a couple of my favorite players coming out of Tampa Bay as well too, Martin St. Louis and Vinny Lecavalier. I think Vinny Lecavalier was like one of the best centers. I loved it when he was on Team Canada. That tandem, you can't make guys like that anymore. And he's kind of gone off the radar, my guy Vinny. So I wonder what he's been up to lately. And Martin St. Louis coaching these days.
St. Louis, bro.
He's Montreal's coach, right? Yeah, he's Montreal's coach. So there you go. Yeah. So shout out to those guys. Just a little guy who made it in the. No, whoa! Don't ever. Hey, listen, ABC 1919. You get blocked for saying that type of stuff around here. Go Habs, go! That's insane.
At least he's Canadian.
Yeah,
all right. We'll give him some love there, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man says,
there's a lot of Habs fans in Toronto.
There you go. Yeah, well,
Right?
I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know. It's just the way it is. It's always been that way, though. Like, I used to grow up, my uncle's a Habs fan.
One of my good buddies that I play hockey with, played with a year, he's a Habs fan.
Is he?
And he just makes me sick every time he wears a jersey.
Make him pay the price on the ice?
No, he's my buddy. I can't make him do that.
You know, it could be a friendly...
play on the same team.
Okay, well, that probably wouldn't work out.
We won a championship one time together, and then we lost in the finals one time together. So
Did you blame him?
No.
Okay.
No, I could never.
I'm just joking.
He's actually an elite level goal scorer.
Is he for real?
Yeah. He's actually so nasty.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm pleased as dang punch with the trading today. Full stop. Today, DJT, we're using 18. I mentioned 18 as a support level. Once it gets taken as a resistance level, it has this tendency to act as support. I'm talking about technical analysis and not specifically DJT. So we're already wetting the beak. We're long 18s. Took out some at 15s. Now I'm waiting at 23. Let's see if this can take the high. The reason I'm waiting at 23 is not a random area. The high of the day is 24. So I'm just trying to front run the high of the day in case there's shorts or profit takers set up there and it doesn't clear. What's a HAB, says Mike Simmons. Habs is kind of the nickname for the Montreal Canadiens, which is a hockey team in Montreal. Why do they call them the Habs, Joseph?
The Habitants.
What does that mean?
Like the inhabitants of
Oh, they're the inhabitants of Montreal. Adara, what's happening up there?
What's happening here is Walmart, WMT. They've had their investor day event all day through this investor meeting. The CEO saying that they have not currently canceled any orders from China, India, and Mexico. We've had a lot of comments from this Walmart investor meeting. I have not mentioned anything yet because they've really just been actually quite calm. They've said, we've dealt with tariffs before. We're going to continue dealing with tariffs as they come. So Walmart continuing to hold strong here. I'm not seeing anything to explain this push to the downside right now. But again, WMT on watch. I'm keeping my eye out for any news. Back to you.
My level 2's telling me like
my level two is lit right now.
It's not even
my level 2's telling me Apple's at 180. What is happening, baby?
Oh my God, no!
Sorry.
Crazy.
Yo, this is messed up right now, man. Very aggressive. Adara, what's going on up there?
Oh my days, mate.
Apparently, Donald Trump said that he is raising tariffs on China to 125%. And I'm going to read this Truth Social post. This is not a rumor. This is from Donald Trump's official Truth Social account. Based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world's markets, I am hereby raising the tariff charge to China by the U.S. to 125%, effective immediately. So this is not effective tomorrow. This is effective right away. And they said that he hopes eventually China will realize, quote, that the days of ripping off the USA is no longer sustainable or acceptable. So 125% tariff on China, effective immediately. Keep in mind, China's new 84% tariff on the U.S. only goes into effect tomorrow, April 10th. Back to you.
Like, what in the days?
What is happening is what I want to know. Why the market's moving up? What's that? Okay, go ahead, Adara.
And also, the other thing with this post that I'm just seeing reported now, which is likely why we have this push to the upside, apparently Donald Trump, right tacked at the bottom of this Truth Social post, says, I've authorized a 90-day pause, in all caps, and substantially lowered reciprocal tariffs during this period of 10% effective immediately. I'm going to continue reading through this because this is a lot of information packed into one Truth Social post, but it does sound like he's basically, for countries that have not necessarily raised tariffs or countries that have tried to negotiate with him, apparently those countries are going to be getting a 90-day pause and substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during that period of 10%. So again, this post is really hard to decipher. There's a lot going on here. I will continue reading through it, but the 90-day pause, I think, is the biggest thing to remember. Back to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't even, guys, I got out here and then now we're $5 literally higher in the span of 2 minutes. That is, it's spooky, hilarious. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I got out, so I didn't get hit or anything along those lines. I was long and I got out at the break even, but then it just rips $5 higher. 90-day pause. Like, you got to be headline sensitive, man. I'm going to get stopped out of my position here. That's not going to be a good one. It is what it is. Take it at face value. Be prepared for that to happen, especially in some of these markets here, guys.
It's just, it's insane, Joseph, because he's, it's kind of, that's the way it is with Donald. Pardon me?
No, nothing.
Yeah, Donald, it's okay, brother. It's wild. I think that we're going to have to kind of expect this from now on, at least in the first year when he's, adjusting his policy, because, there's a reason why we put the TV up on over there. There's a reason why Dara's got all that in her ear all the time now. She's constantly listening to anything that could be Trump related, is because single-handedly he's moving these markets. That was not the case during the Biden administration, and we're going to have to get used to a new reality that this is what he does. Adara, tell us more.
Yeah, so again, in case you missed it, what happened here, Donald Trump shared in a Truth Social post that is only 3 sentences, but yet is very long, that China will be getting a 125% tariff effective immediately, but he also said, because apparently more than 75 countries have tried to negotiate with him, those countries are going to be getting a 90-day pause, but also he said there's going to be a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff of 10%, also effective immediately. So it's unclear if we're getting this 90-day pause and the 10% tariff at the same time. The wording of this post, I would like to add, is very unclear, but regardless, the words 90-day pause certainly pushing this market to the upside. And again, both the 125% China tariff and the 90-day pause for other countries are effective immediately. Back to you.
SPF, he told us to buy today, remember? Yeah, maybe we should listen. Look, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I did pick up some stuff today. Whether or not I was lucky, let's just be honest about it. Oh, yeah, the market. I would like this a lot more if I watched The Office, but I have no idea what's happening here. I just know that I like, what's his name again? This guy from 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Steve Carroll.
Steve Carroll, yeah. What a guy, bro. What a guy. Look, it's a lot of people happy, a lot of people upset, and this is kind of what happens when the market moves in this way, and it's just the way it is, guys. So right now, Apple is moving insanely, okay? It's up almost 10%. Tesla's up 11.5%. NVIDIA's up almost 11%. AMD's up almost 13%. ARM is 14%. So things are flying right now, and that's just kind of the way I think the Trump administration is going to be. And the market's going to have to deal with this, and us market participants are going to have to deal with this as well. But this is rocketing up in a way that I haven't seen since 21 and 20 and all these times. Look at this, guys. This is aggressive movement to the high side here. The future, we're almost 2,000 points off the low, bro. Okay, the low of the day today on the NQ is 16,735. We're going into 18.5 right now. We're almost 2,000 points. This is crazy. This is crazy. Like and subscribe, says Andre. I'm freaking out here, Andre. No, man, Laura, this is an intense move today, guys. Big move. I took a couple of longs here on the dead one Apple. A little, some positive, some negative. It's really rocketing up now. Here it goes into about 191. Very aggressive moves right now. Be careful with your shorts. If you're going to get long as well, be careful as well, because this has a way of mean reverting. Who saw that yesterday? I did. So, Roman, if this is a bull trap, so I don't know why it held your message. If this is a bull trap, I'll... Come on, bro. I don't want to read that. Thank God it held your message. What are you saying that for? Anyway, what happened? Joss Q. Torres. Donald Trump tweeted or truth socialed or whatever he's calling it there, and basically a 90-day pause. Derek, can you repeat that headline for us one more time for those that are just jumping in?
So I would like to just stress again, you really have to just interpret this post based on what is said, because there are some grammatical and syntax issues in it. But basically, I'll just read the last sentence of this because this is what's moving the market. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called representatives of the United States, including the Departments of Commerce, Treasury, and the USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs, and that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States, I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%. Also effective immediately. So yeah, that was one sentence. What I can gather from that, and what I think is not clear, and what I really want to emphasize, he has not stated specifically if this 90-day pause is for all countries or for countries that have not retaliated. The other thing I want to add too is he says that there's a 90-day pause and a lowered reciprocal tariff. So it's unclear which countries get what. That's the other thing I want to mention. The only country that is incredibly clear what they get is China, which is getting a 125% tariff, also effective immediately. So the reason I wanted to read that is because there are still some things that we have some questions about from this post, including which countries are getting the 90-day pause, which are getting the 10% tariff, and I guess how this is going to be playing out. I really wanted to emphasize that. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. Excellent reporting as always. Thank you for keeping us apprised, and thank you for having your ear with the market to make sense of exactly what's going on here, guys. Big move up, but let's be careful, okay? So now we're over 2,000 points from top to bottom today on the futures, but we are off the highs. We're over 100 points off the highs, but when you're talking about 100 points within the context of 2,000 points, it doesn't feel like all that much, but this is, okay, now we're dropping even more. Now, huge topping tail candle, Katina, man, coming in on the futures right now. We're 300 points off the highs. I was telling somebody in the chat, the market giveth and the market taketh away. 18,785 is the high. We're below 18,500 right now, but on the bottom right of your screen, that red rectangle right there says 16,735. That is the current overnight low. It's the low of the day on the futures. The high of the day is 18,785. So 2,050 points from top to bottom. But it looks like the good times, at least for the moment, may be coming to an end, or there's profit taking at these levels, because we are getting topping tail candles on all the Mag 7 names, whether it's Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google. They're all topping tail right now and a bit off the high. So Apple, 194.49 high day. It's now below 190, so it lost $5. It's now at 188, quick like that. So be careful. I want to keep stressing something that Mitch said yesterday that really rung true to me. He's like, on a day like this, he was talking about yesterday, where we made such an aggressive move to the high side in the morning, and then we retraced aggressively. We hadn't even retraced when he said this, but he's like, be on the lookout. Between the tug of war between bulls and bears, the bulls will feel that the good times are coming, and the bears are going to be like, nope, short the pop. This is just going to be a lower high. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. We're seeing aggressive market moves to the high side, and then equally aggressive market moves possibly back to the downside. Let's see how this cookie crumbles, Joseph. But what a move up here on the futures, on the Mag 7 in general, brother. What are you doing over there?
Yeah, I'm just chilling out here now, guys. I was long, and I took the break-even stop, but then the market just ripped up here. So yeah, that's it. I don't got anything going on. I'm not going to chase anything. That volatility has just stepped right back into the market. Yeah, to be honest with you, I'll be frank with you guys. Yeah, not good. Something not good just happened. So it's all right. We'll shake it off and just see what we can cook up next. Unfortunately, I got to make some phone calls as well too to see what in the Bubkiss is going on. So
yeah, I feel you, man.
Yeah. So again, that shouldn't have happened the way it did, but it is what it is. Donald said buy, so I guess you go out and buy at that point.
Did he actually? What did he say yesterday?
He said this morning. He said go out and buy.
He said that, eh?
Good time buy.
What a guy! Who says that? Who gives financial advice like that?
I had orders. I had orders out and everything. So yeah. Don't
Adara,
apologize.
what's up?
Honestly, don't apologize for what's going on. Anyways.
I want to go over this because here are two posts that Donald Trump shared this morning that I think are really interesting now that we have this post about tariffs. So he says, be cool, everything is going to work out well. The USA will be bigger and better than ever before. So that came out, I think, around the open. Then a couple of minutes after the open, we get, this is a great time to buy DJT. So pretty interesting timing here for these two posts. Now, of course, we get the post that that he's just shared, which is that pumped the market for anyone who missed it, suggesting that we will get 125% tariffs on China effective immediately, but also there will be a 90-day pause on tariffs for countries that have not retaliated. He also, though, mentioned that there's going to be a 10% flat reciprocal rate as well. So again, I do want to stress there are some questions raised by the wording of his tweet. Back to you.
All right, we're long Apple here, and we're about $1 in the money. Bang. Here we go. Now we're continuing to go here on Apple. I'm still going to hold a piece. Got a couple of pieces out so far. We're long 190.28. If it dips anywhere near my entry, I'm gone. There it is. We're out for the little piece there. So we'll make some money back on Apple. So I'm going to continue to try and trade the futures. It does look like that topping tail candle might have been a bear trap. I'm not really sure how these markets are going to end up because this is awfully volatile and you do not see this kind of price action every day. But you also don't see a guy like Donald Trump every day, I'll tell you the truth. So this one, very, very interesting. Let's look at what some of these other ones are doing. I know I'm focusing on Apple because that's the one I was trading yesterday. It's the one I'm in tune with currently, but there's others. I mean, I got to tell you the truth. It feels like Meta might be one of the strongest ones. It is back right into that near the high of the day again. A lot closer to the high of the day is Meta than some of these others. We'll keep an eye, obviously, on NVIDIA, on Tesla. They're obviously rocketing up. They're bigger percentage winners on the day than Meta, but Meta very close to that high of the day, so we'll see if we can get continuity there. Shout out to Hot Lana and Nicole Harris. $5 super chat. Oh, my bad, Neil. I didn't mean to hit that. Bought $10 550 calls for tomorrow, just sold for $260. DJT is moving too. Thanks for the news. Trump said bye. Shout out to Nicole Harris and Hot Lana. He did say it, didn't he? So we'll keep an eye out on that. Shout out to the OG Nicole Harris, who is a great contributor on the show and on the chat, bro. Come on, now. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
NVDA up 13% now is absolutely insane.
It's insane. Yeah,
that is crazy.
Yeah. These are trading like small caps.
Yeah. That's some big time movement here, guys. On the Qs, same thing, up strong now. So see you later. I don't know what the 90-day pause is, but again, it'd be just more time for negotiations, but again, should have happened a long time ago. So a bunch of foolery happening in the market, and then eventually you just come out and drop this. So there you go, nice big recovery in the market. That's a positive sign. We'll see from a percentage metric how much we're down now, guys. So we're back at 455, which is not too bad, but yeah, it is what it is. Nice big engulfing candle. 16% now with the low of around 25%. So nice comeback here in the overall market, filling up all these gaps. All it takes, headline sensitive. Donald Trump speaks, and you get these news. Let's see what Adara's up to.
So here is the NASDAQ once again on this Trump Truth Social post saying there will be a 125% tariff on China effective immediately, but a 90-day pause for cooperating countries. At the same time, I want to add, we have comments coming through from the World Trade Organization on the trade tensions between China and the U.S. They actually warn here that preliminary projections show that the merchandise trade between the Chinese and U.S. economies could actually decrease by as much as 80% and could lead to a long-term reduction in global real GDP of about 7%. So we're noting here WTO warning of some of the consequences here of these issues with U.S. and China. But in other news, I'm seeing apparently the NASDAQ is on pace for its 7th best day of all time. So here's the NASDAQ making new day's highs as we speak. Again, we still do not have any clarification on that post from Trump, including which countries are getting the 90-day pause and which are getting this 10% flat reciprocal tariff rate. But if I find out anything, I'll let you know. Like, I would like to add the wording of the post does leave a little to be worked out there. Back to you.
This is insane.
Yeah.
I just took another $1.50 here on Apple. This is nuts. This is crazy, bro. I don't think I've ever seen Apple up 12%, man. I could have stayed months and not seen Apple up 12%, and you get it in like minutes, man. The market is freaking nuts. All right, Joe.
I'm not ready. What am
Get
I
it.
doing? The Phoenix here? Or e-signal? E-signal. Listen up here, guys. New traders, listen up. First month free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything infinite. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description.
No, Ginny, I am not salty. Actually, I added this morning, okay? So before you make your little accusations there, get your facts straight, boy.
Ooh,
so we'll
boy.
continue to watch and see what these markets do. We may get to 19,000. Who knows? We got to 18,899. So we're very close to that 19,000 point area, only 100 points off it. So we'll keep tabs on this level. I'm keeping an eye on Apple. Apple now high day 194.87. I want to see if we can take out that level. $200 could be in focus if we continue to buy in this way. So fantastic. Look, I'm not even looking at Donald John Trump, which was probably a mistake because look at this thing go. Where's my DJT chart at? Oh, 1 second. There it is. No, that's TQs. I think I switched for Apple. There it is. DJT absolutely flying. We were talking about that $18 level being an area of technical resistance, then flip to support. That makes it look like a long time ago, baby. The high of the day now on your friend Donald John Trump, who is single-handedly responsible for the market sell-off as well as the market pump that we're currently in. His stock is up 15 2/3%, having knocked on the door of $19.49, essentially, and $19.50 high. But that's really all I'm going to say about these small caps because it is not time to talk about them. It is all about the large caps, the chips, the Mag 7s. That is what's moving right now. They're moving small cap-esque, small cap-like, in the sense that they're parabolic to the high side. To who? To Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
To Jose himself.
To Jose.
All right, no,
Okay.
2.0. Number 2, in sports playing, flexibility is everything. At ProfitX, you can see the order book just like the financial exchange. Guys, pick your spot and customize the odds to fit your risk. Why settle for a single offered price when you can set your own? Plus, our mobile interface makes it easy to play on the go. ProfitX, where you call the shots anytime, anywhere. Users can use code TraderTV to get our sign up offer for 2% cash back up to $300 there, guys. 2% cash back up to $300. There it is, ProfitX. Scan the QR code. You can kind of make your own lines and everything along that and have fun with that. I hear Adara saying we're going to send it off to Adara with some news.
We're hearing now some comments from Caroline Leavitt, who's the White House press secretary. As I mentioned, there was some confusion in Trump's post as to whether or not there was a 90-day pause on tariffs or there's going to be a 10% rate. Well, we have Caroline Leavitt saying, apparently, that the tariff level will be brought down to a universal 10% during negotiations. Now, it's unclear if this universal 10% is happening before or after we get a 90-day pause, but apparently, White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt saying that there will be continued negotiations here. They're going to look for tailor-made negotiations on tariffs. In the meantime, there will be a universal 10% tariff rate. So Caroline Leavitt, to my knowledge, has not yet mentioned this 90-day pause. She's really saying here, and same with Besant, that they're going to be getting this 10% rate as negotiations continue. I'm still looking for clarification here. Back to you.
Looking at so many different stocks that are the Toronto Stock Exchange. Oh, TSX is up 4.3. Amex. Get it, Katina man. What's going on over there? So the short is in play. The Katina man is short, and here we go. We're dropping quite aggressively. So as I mentioned, 18,899. That's the high of the day on the NQ June contract. And here we are. We're well below that now, Katina man. About 500 points below that, give or take. No, almost close. So we're rejecting that level. We're still well above the 10 exponential moving average on all the Mag 7 names, including the Fuge. So we'll see, do we put in higher lows here? Like if you're basing your trade on the higher lows, not the topping tail candles, do we put in higher lows on some of these trades? So, or the good times coming to an end? So we'll keep an eye out on that. I'm keeping my eye out on my news blotter. for anything that could come in new here that we would want to report to you. So here it is, guys. In case you're wondering, Adair already read this multiple times. She read Donald Trump's specific tweet or whatever it's called there on Truth Social. But it essentially is U.S. President Donald Trump said on Wednesday he authorized a 90-day pause as a part of his tariff plan, but was also raising the tariff rate for China to 125%, which would theoretically take place in 90 days. I think that is for the kind of the negotiation aspect of it. I don't know, man. I know the Chinese are playing hardball. They're retaliating with their own tariffs. They've made kind of statements that are, I don't want to call them belligerent, but they're definitely not meek in any way. And so I feel like they're singing a different tune this time. But I think that's all posturing so you can have a stronger negotiating hand at the table, Joseph, because if you come in there weak AF, and, and you've been pooped on for the last couple of months, what kind of negotiating hand are you going to have on the other side of the table?
Yeah, I agree with you on that front. So, again, I think he should have started off a little bit more cooler if we're just going to end up kind of back where we started. So now he's got a 90-day pause going on because there's obviously people in his ear being like, Donald, things aren't good here in the market, and we can't allow that here. We got too much money involved in the U.S. stock market. But let's see what Adair is up to.
We have some news here that actually is not tariff related. This is about WW, formerly known as Weight Watchers. So about, 10 minutes ago now, the Wall Street Journal posted an article saying that the company is preparing to file for bankruptcy in the coming months. This article was then shared by a different Wall Street Journal reporter on X and has now been shared within the social network community here on Twitter for trading. So WW reportedly filing for bankruptcy that is circulating around X right now. Also, U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent saying that apparently they're meeting with Vietnam today and they're going to be meeting with Japan, India, and South Korea at some point in the future. And U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent also saying that he expects partners to come with their best deals. So negotiation happening. We've also had some clarification. Apparently this 10% rate, which was mentioned by Donald Trump alongside the 90-day tariff pause, the 10% rate will apply to both Mexico and Canada. Now, I want to specify, we've now had both Scott Bessent and Caroline Leavitt come out here and talk about the, drop here for tariffs for countries that negotiate. Neither of them have mentioned this 90-day pause. Back to you.
This is insane. I'm continuing. I'm a loss for words. I don't know whether to go long or short. I'm genuinely telling you the truth. I don't have a read. We're kind of putting in a bit of a top. It feels like we haven't obviously put any higher highs since the candle that printed at 135. So that was about 10 minutes ago. We're not tanking either, but we're not making any higher highs. Now, tanking is relative, right? Given the price range on the day. Case in point, we're about 300 some odd points off the high, but we're also almost 2,000 points off the low. So are we tanking? Why are you laughing, right? Like, this is insane, right?
I don't even know, man.
Yeah.
It's killing me. Like, again, like, we're all feeling the same thing.
Yeah, so
all you can do is laugh, man. I put it in the chat what just happened to me. Sharif's like, shake it off.
Do you want to explain to everybody like, what the situation is? Because I think some people will. Absolutely,
yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
So essentially what happened, guys, I was telling you guys I had some calls. I was writing some calls on the overall market, and I had a stop in place, and that stop went over 7 times before I got triggered out. So yeah, resulting in a 4-figure loss there, guys. A 4-figure loss, just like that, brother, when I shouldn't have. So that's why when you guys say, Joe, what's wrong with you, is because I got to get on the phone with IBKR, but I'm not going to be the only person who's calling them. Unfortunately, again, it's only just under $2,000. It's nothing to cry home about. But it is a loss and something that you weren't expecting to take. I had the orders out. When that volatility stepped in, it just blew past through all of it, and it went to that point. So there you go, 4 figures gone in a matter of 2 minutes there. Let's go to Adair, guys.
We have some more comments here coming from Scott Bessent answering some questions about this tariff-related situation. I guess people asking, of course, about Donald Trump's decision to announce a 90-day pause on tariffs here and also a 10% tariff rate for cooperating countries here. On Truth Social, now probably about 10 to 20 minutes ago, Scott Bessent saying the 90-day pause is because Trump wants to be involved and the pause gives time to negotiate. He also added that the tariff change was made, quote, because of countries contacting. It was a processing problem. So not really answering a ton of questions here. What's also interesting, too, is that Scott Bessent said the pause is not because of how the market reacted to tariffs. That is not why they announced this pause, and that Trump is the one who decided to wait until today to make said announcement. He also said once again now that everything is on the table. This is a quote that Bessent has used quite a lot when it comes to tariffs, but here's the market continuing to push a little bit higher here as we have Scott Bessent saying that everything is on the table and they are continuing to negotiate. Trump himself wanting to be a part of these negotiations, and he was the one who decided to announce the tariffs in this fashion, or the pause in this fashion. Back to you.
Oh,
Don't even-
bro,
don't
on a
even-
day like
Yeah,
this, I'm
yeah,
already
yeah.
fired
You're
up
fired
to go.
up, too.
If you come at my boy in the chat, I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
bro,
but
poke my
honestly,
bear.
the majority of it has been love,
Yeah.
guys. Everybody's been in that boat. I've been in this boat before. I was telling you guys about my Tesla loss the other day. It happens. I'll have to make a phone call to see what actually happened and why I didn't necessarily get filled. I'm assuming it's because of the volatility onslaught. So. Yeah, it really sucks, but don't make light of that, because one day, if you make fun of me or someone along the lines who made that mistake, chances are you're going to, and karma will get you, I believe,
100%.
on that. So keep it cool. Mad love for you. Exactly. Daljit Singh.
That's
mad
what I
love,
want to
guys.
see.
This is what we are.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, exactly. It's all love, guys. So I'm being frank with you. Just took a $1,500 haircut on something where I was supposed to lose $200 max, and I was in the money this morning laughing. And now who's really laughing? Not me, even though I will laugh about it, because I'm just that type of guy. We'll get it back. I'm going to have a frosty pint, that's for sure, just to keep it cool. Yeah, nice and frosty, and keep it cool with the boys to shake it off. But we'll be back. There's no worries. Oh, you know what I was thinking in my head there, Sharif? I'm just going to YOLO IBIT, and then that's it. We get it back. No, I'm not going to do that whatsoever. Now we got to stay rational, so I won't be doing that.
I was telling Joe.
I might do it, though. I might.
This is like the first time ever I'm going to gift somebody a birthday present on my birthday, because, well, let's just call a spade a spade. Bitcoin ain't going to 125,000 by May 25th.
So there you go. I just kind of reduced my loss today from $1,500 to just below $1,400.
And hold on, Dinkelberg threw $5 your way,
Thanks,
bro.
Dinkle.
Jeez,
Appreciate
my man
you, my
Dinkelberg,
guy. Yeah,
for Joe's
much
troubles.
appreciated, man. Hey,
Also-
hey, dude. There's people who probably lost significantly more than I did on that spike. So I'm walking away with a $1,500 haircut. Then I won't complain.
You're getting ridiculous amounts of love
it's
in the
all
chat.
love, man.
And that's really what I want to see,
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
Like, you know how hard it is to sit here and trade and talk and report, and it's not easy.
And try to hold a straight
And so when you're
face, too,
trying
you know
to
what I
like
mean?
hurt us at the same time, why would you want to do that?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
I don't
It's,
get it.
yeah, so-
But that's neither here nor
No,
there.
but no, honestly, don't feel sorry for me or anything along those lines. I'm in the same game you guys are, right? It sucks, but it's our job to just kind of shake it off and continue to move forward.
Joseph, let's report right now. Scott Bessent still on the White House grounds. I think he's in the Rose Garden. I'm not really sure. He's still taking questions. That stream that we have over there by CNN is a little delayed. I'm seeing 149 on my clock. That one showing 145. So I'm not exactly sure if he's still on, but he is taking questions from reporters. And in case you're wondering, the tariff suspension is on all countries for 90 days except China, right? It's except China. China excluded, not exempted, from that 90-day pause. So that will go ahead against China, reporting CNN, reporting CNBC as well. So we will bring that to you guys as well. And you're getting a lot of love here, man.
Yeah.
Long this $20 super chat.
My guy.
I took a $400,000 haircut the last 2 months, but I didn't because I didn't sell. Today is good, Joe. I think that's it's a great point by you, Long this. It's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. I'm sure you've heard that adage before, Joseph.
Dude, like I just said, it's not my first time here. Of
course.
Probably most definitely won't be my last time. Just gotta be cautious on these stuff. Long Joe, appreciate that. Hunter Plays. And there's another $20 super chat here, guys, from T Black 1999. You are amazing. No, you are amazing. Much appreciated. So there you go. And if you guys want to talk about losses, if you go back, I'm not going to mention his name or anything like that, but a friend of mine, he just realized $700,000 in losses, and then now you get this pop. I bet you I know how he feels. Right? He literally posted it. He said, okay, I'm going to realize these losses. I've had about $2 million in losses. I have to realize it. And then now the market pumps 12%.
It's tough. It's
so
obviously
imagine
very,
how
very
he's feeling.
Yeah.
So my love goes out to you, Mr. Yes.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Shout out to T Black as well. Thank you for the super chat. Saying this to you, Joseph. You are amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, T Black. Kind words, and thank you for the super chat. There's a whole bunch of super chats. We got to go through these for a second, okay?
Yeah.
Before we go to Adara. Joe, music, $50 Canadian for your boy there. We got Sir Poopy. $10 super chat, Adara. Sorry, give me a second, Adara. Big love, Big Joe. I just jumped out of my SVIX before the pop. Missed out on a quick 17% gain. Just gonna laugh it off. Thank you so much, Sir Poopy. And then we have Evan Wu. I don't know what SGD is in terms of currency, but $5.98. Thank you very much, my friend, for that. And Big Spile sending his love. FOMC reversion incoming. This guy just wants the world to burn, bro. Juiced, €11.99 euros, bro.
Oh, it's not euros, not even quid there. So.
No, I think that's euros, yeah. €11.99 euros. And then with that, thank you again very much for that. Adara, sorry to keep you waiting.
So we're going to talk here about Bitcoin. Nice push to the upside as well, because this is not one we necessarily talked about. Here is, I guess, the volume spike when we had this Trump Truth Social post suggesting that there will be a 90-day pause on tariffs and a 10% rate here for cooperating countries. Again, really not clear as of right now who gets what. There were some countries specifically mentioned, including Canada and Mexico, by, Trump's administration. They will be getting the 10% rate. Regardless, this is the 5-minute chart for BTC. Now, we just had comments coming from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt and U.S. Treasury Secretary Pete Bessent. Those comments just ended, but, sorry, not Pete Bessent, Scott Bessent. What I want to mention here that I think is key is Scott Bessent basically said that this was Trump's plan all along. His plan was to basically goad China into responding so that they would have to respond in a more dramatic way and show their hand. Apparently that was the plan. I think Caroline Leavitt also basically added here that Trump is the person playing the long game, direct quote, as we've had the U.S. apparently trying to work out this trade deficit for many years. So regardless, we have Bessent and Caroline Leavitt really pushing the strategy up here. The other thing I think worth noting as well is that we do have the FOMC minutes coming up in about 5 minutes. So FOMC minutes and some comments here coming from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt and Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, suggesting that this was Trump's plan. Bessent also noted that Trump did not time the announcement to the bond auction. As we noted, we had a push to the upside after the 10-year bond auction, and Trump's post came about 10 minutes after that. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. The perpetual moment. $20 super chat. We all go through it. You are never alone. All the love to you, Joe. You are a wonderful human.
Bang.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Your
man.
boy Big Patty just sent a message as well, by the way. BPI says, I've seen Joe tip more than that.
Yeah, this guy.
He's got this.
For the number one
Shout out to
fan, YOLO Fire Joe, $2. Thank you guys for that. I can just go and honestly, I'm just gonna leave it at this, guys. Just having all you support in the chat. It's happened to me before. It just makes it that much easier. So if I can pay it forward, then like it's like I can't even be upset right now because of how much love you guys have showed me. And I mean, it's not like I blew up the account or anything like that. It's an ugly haircut. It absolutely sucks. But like again, I honestly can't express how much that means to me. We got another super. I hear you, Andre. Where's the super chat there, brother?
I see it. I got it.
50,
Ken and Mr. C.
Wow.
Bro, the money's flying in here, man. The
Like,
money's flying in. I think we're over several $100
At this
here.
point, I don't even have a loss anymore. Like, that's all materialistic, guys. And this is what we do. We just be frank with you, right? I'm expressing to you what has happened to me in real time and in real life. So I hope that you guys can just learn from these mistakes, learn from what we do, and just become a better trader at the end of it. This market is pumping. And again, I can't express my love for everybody and what you guys just displayed to me. I could probably shed a tear right now, but I'm going to try to hold it back because it's true. It's fantastic what you guys have done, and I'm speechless. gains, to be honest with you, man.
I mean, it's just honestly, we were harping on the ones who were the outliers, the negatories in the chat. What we really should have been harping on was the amount of kindness and amazing viewers that we have in the chat. Kindness
matters,
really
man.
did show itself today. Thank you very much, guys, for that. And you're getting more love. New York City Urbanista, we love you, Joe.
Yeah, we love you,
You're getting
man.
lots of love there, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Mr. Joseph, again, thanks for all you do, says Mr. C, dropping $50 in the chat. Love that. Pretty Panda, Sharif, Joe, what is the daily percentage gain record of the NASDAQ? Honestly, I personally don't know, but I do know somebody who does know. Chat Gupt. Let's have a see what Chat GPT has to say about that. Dara, you're pumping up chat. All right, so what's chat got to say? Midday queries. We can show this. Okay, so what is the largest percentage gain on the NASDAQ in one day? Come on. The largest percentage in that March 13th, 2020. Gain 9.35%. Where are we at? 8.79, Neil. We're not that far away. We are really not that far away. The NQ is up 8.9%. It could go 9. All we need is 1/3%. The NQ is up 9%, guys. Okay, so we could break that 9.35 right there. So that's crazy. That's crazy.
Bro, are you kidding me?
What happened,
Look
man?
at the, yo, did you see
No,
this?
I'm not. I'm trying to
This
read.
is insane, bro.
Wrong this to
What?
250 freaking dollars on the super chat for your boy Joe. Honesty pays, eh? They say crime pays, but yeah, honesty pays, man. Mark L, $5 super chat. Thank you very much to you guys. This is crazy, bro. I mean, look at this. Another classy gorilla. Now I can afford a super chat, Joe. $5. Your boy's dropping cash in the chat. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You okay, Joey? You okay, Joey? Guys, we just broke the record. 9.38. The NQ has never been this high ever in one day. We just broke it. I saw it with my own eyes, Katina, man. We just broke the record for the biggest percentage mover ever on a day to the high side. And I'm yelling. I'm sorry I'm yelling, but this doesn't happen every day. Last time it happened was 5 years ago. Well, it happened March 20th. 2020, COVID, obviously, right? This is obviously a huge day, 9.4% right now. The NQ breaking a record. What a day it's been. I know it's been conflicted. Some people are up, some people are down. It's a bit of a tougher day, but this is what we live for, the volatility. If you're an intraday day trader, you can't make money without intraday volatility, and this is what we're looking at right here. The super chats are coming in fast and furious, Joseph. Sunil, $4.99, sending his love. RJ, $5 Canadian. Joe, stay positive. You'll be okay. I think he knows that. Shout out to you guys, all that. Another $100 from your boy Kozik F11Dang2. The money's coming in. It's coming in fast and furious. We got a minute left, but Adara has something up the big desk. Or does she?
And apparently the largest intraday percentage gain here, or at least this is from close. So the NASDAQ gained 14.17% on January 3rd, 2001. According to Wikipedia here, 14% gain. The second one was 11.81% gain on October 13th, 2008. And then in 2000, we had about a 10.5% gain. So where we currently are is around the 4th or 5th spot. There's quite a few spots in this 9%, 8% gain. Back to you.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Adara, because this one was wrong. It just told me right now. Go to my screen. Yes, you're absolutely right to point that out. The NASDAQ gained 14.71%. January 3rd, 2001, it was a 14.17% gain, and it was because the Federal Reserve unexpectedly cut interest rates by 50 basis points, sparking a massive tech rally after the dot-com crash had devastated markets throughout 2000. So I do apologize for the incorrect data there, but it was given me by Chat Good. Joseph, the Fast and Furious super chats have not stopped. They're coming in crazy, so I'm going to let you cover them before we go over to the big boys. You got to go over all of them, bro.
I mean, guys, I mentioned that I'm essentially speechless. Jose, all love Joe, $4.99. Sorry, I don't sound overly enthused because this is amazing. Slightly overwhelmed, to be honest with you. Couple IBIT shares for Joey, $300.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, we got to cover all of them, so
yeah,
I'll do it. Okay.
Take it away there.
Yeah, we got Gus Davos, $200. He literally dropped $199.99 with a message of, why not? It looks like he printed up a storm. Then your boy For Profit dropping 20 in the chat for Joe. We love that, man. Your boy Pug Life 77 dropping a 50 spot in the chat. I got you, bro. Options bros stick together. You're getting a lot of love, man. And then your boy AIRX, $10 super chat. I hit my goal of making my first 4-digit profits today. Thank you, Trader TV and the chat. Y'all are amazing. No, man, you're amazing. And thank you for joining us today. And you already covered Swold because my man dropped 300 Canadian big ones in the chat saying couple IBT shares for your boy Joey. 120,000 BTC at the end of the day. Let's go. Look, I'd be good with that.
There.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be good with that. But we're overtime, Joseph.
Another $20 from Zansky. Joe, keep your head up. It's up, man. It's like it's past the upstage. Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
I don't even know.
Can't even send it to the boys because they keep coming in.
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to. I honestly don't even. This is absolutely insane. They keep coming. Joey, let's go. Another $10. Epic Strategy. Dr. Fez. Trump Trauma Fund. All love. Thank you for the $14. Shannon Queen. Another $10 here. I'm gonna just like I don't even know. I don't even know, man.
Wow, there's more. 100 euros. 100 euros. Boom. Amsterdam loves you guys. Coach. No, I gotta read your name properly, man. You're gonna drop 100 euros. You're gonna get your name read out properly. Coach Hartman, man. Shout out to. I used to have a friend named Ryan Hartman from the chat. Shout out to you. Thank you very much for that. You guys are way too kind. Shannon Queen, $10 super chat. Your boy Dr. Fez. $13.99 Canadian Trump Trauma Fund, all love. Then your boy Epic Strategy, $10 super chat. Joey, let's freaking go. Keep your head up, my boy. These are big boy drops right now. We love you guys. We're going to send you the big kahunas. We're big boy overtime. Take advantage of these markets, but be safe. Love you guys. Be back tomorrow.
Honestly, yeah, I don't even know.
Sweet Christmas. That's all I got to say. I wasn't sitting at my desk when it happened.
What did I miss?
What did you miss? I'm not gonna lie. I was up at the main desk, just getting that PC. Was freezing, all that stuff, and I'm like, and all of a sudden I just hear pandemonium from over here.
Yes.
I come back.